welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another month and another edition here of the Enki Pro Series. Enki Pro Series number 6. I'm of course just VIP with you and joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Bienvenidos to another broadcast. Again, we're live on a daily basis. We're live actually multiple times today, and we are here with something a little bit different, with something special. Here we go. Now, if you're familiar with the channel, then you'd be familiar with these tournaments. The Enki Pro Series is a showmatch series, a monthly series that Enki does organize. Enki, of course, he's el hermoso. He is one of the CranKy Ducklings, a Spanish caster. So Enki's a Spanish caster, and he has been organizing these show matches for the past 6 months, for the past half year, 6 months so far of Enki Pro Series. Every single month we put together 2 different players facing off in that best of 9 format. Best of 9s are rare, but not here, not for the Pro Series. Best of 9s are standard, papi. Yay. And we have 2 amazing players ready for us. We have GuMiho and Zoun. We've been featuring players like Beyond, like Clem, like Hero, but now we have GuMiho and Zoun stepping up and facing off. Here we go. On top of that, I should also emphasize that tonight, typically at this time slot, we cast the Wardy TV Monday. Wardy TV Mondays are usually here Monday evening. They're usually starting here and now, but this week the Wardy TV Monday was postponed. It was postponed. Wardy, he did post that he otherwise had something else coming up at this time, so he was not available. And Wardy, he has actually pushed back the start of Wardy TV Monday until a little bit later on, 4 hours from now. 4 hours from now. Basically, by the time we wrap up this cast, that's when the Wardy TV Monday should be beginning. So it's going to be at a little bit more of a European-friendly time slot instead. I believe it's going to be instead at around the Monday night weekly time, start time instead. I believe that is the plan. That is the plan regarding that, so don't you worry, you're not missing out on Wardy TV Monday. This is basically a big another event that's happening before that, as it was pushback, it was postponed. When it comes to the matches that we have ready for you, we have the Enki Pro Series number 6, that is going to be a best of 9 show match between GuMiho and Zoun, and we have the Enki Epic Series number 5, which is going to be featuring Classic and TaeJa. Again, if you haven't been watching StarCraft as of late, you might not be aware, but TaeJa, he is back, he has returned. TaeJa has been competing not in StarCraft 2, he's been competing in StarCraft Evolution. StarCraft Evolution is a mod that does pit together Brood War versus SC2. And TaeJa has been playing for like a month. I want to say around a month, maybe a little bit more than a month at this point, so it's great to have been casting TaeJa and featuring TaeJa as of late, and we'll be getting to some TaeJa action later on. After this series, we'll have another best of 9 show match between TaeJa and Classic, so that's going to be coming up. That will be coming up. For the time being, we're going to be jumping in. Again, we do have a $200 prize pool. I believe, I think actually $250, as we did boost the prize pool, fun fact. But we do have a hefty prize pool here for the show match, and we're going to be jumping in. Let's go. False advertising. Basically, it's going to be Wardy TV Tuesday. True. I believe it will start Tuesday. At least here, like in Australia and New Zealand, like in our part of the world, it is going to be on Tuesdays. But it's like the Pigastar Cups, right? It was like the Pigastar Monday was on Tuesday. Smurge, buddy, smurge. It's all good. But otherwise, we have our series. We have our best of 9. Now, bearing in mind, these matches did occur a couple of days ago, but they were only casted in Spanish. I believe they have not been broadcasted in English yet. Until now. As I mentioned before, Enki, the person that organizes, the caster that organizes this event, does cast in Spanish. And we were given the opportunity to cast this live, but we had another event going on, specifically the Thermal 2v2 circuit, which has concluded, by the way. The 2v2 circuit has concluded, but that did overlap with some of these show matches. So I do apologize for that. So we'll do our best to cover the show matches live when possible, but the 2v2 circuit was going on, and of course we were working on that as well at the time, so we weren't quite able to cover both at the same time. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But otherwise, here we go. We're going to be jumping into game 1. Game 1 of all maps. I mean, hey, best of 9. You know what that means. No Vedas. no Vedas, papi. Let's go. Game 1, Last Fantasy. Oh boy, what a way to kick things off. And again, I haven't been able to cast much of GuMiho as of late. GuMiho has been featured in other series, in qualifiers, in open cups, and GuMiho has been having a bit of a hard time, specifically in this matchup. I'm hoping that he can redeem himself, but here we go. The pressure is on this morning. In the bottom hand corner of Last Fantasy, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top side of Last Fantasy, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran himself. We have the South Korean Terran for SAUL Esports. It is GuMiho. Here we go, and again, welcome on all to Last Fantasy. Last Fantasy is the most vetoed map in the map pool. It's a rare sight to ever get your hands on a match on Last Fantasy, but we do have these two facing off here and now. Let's go again. Reminder, best of 9, which means 0 vetoes. We can force maps like Last Fantasy, we can force maps like Torches, and I'm hoping that GuMiho has something cheeky up his sleeve. Now, a lot of players, including GuMiho, have been playing around with Mech. Mech has been rising in popularity against Protoss in TVP. A year ago, even more than that, of course, I would say that Mech was more of a meme, was more really a GuMiho thing more than anything in Terran vs Protoss, but now it's become a little bit more commonplace. We've been seeing players like Maru, players like Cure, a lot of the other Korean Terran players have been dipping their toes into Mech versus Protoss. GuMiho has been doing that since the beginning, so I just bring that up just because we expect to see that, I'm sure, at least once in this series. In a best of 9, I'm sure we'll see it. For now, double gas into a faster factory, going to a more tech-heavy start. To me, while standard opener out of Zoun, going gate expand into Cybercore into our initial tech of choice. We also saw that Zoun scouted GuMiho immediately. Remember, this is a 3-player spawn map, so there is a little bit of RNG when it comes to scouting. But Zoun is fully aware he does scout GuMiho. GuMiho on the flip side, no SCV scout. GuMiho is playing blind for the time being until the Reaper pumps, and now he's off to scout. Let's go. Reaper does zoom across. I have to get rid of that. This is not the sparkling tuna cup. Aye. My apologies. We'll remove that. Este tuna. As Reaper does slip into the main. Dancing with the probes, and so far is forcing some denied mining time. Do we get a probe kill? No, we do not. Yes, Stalker does pop, Stalker does run away, and the Reaper is going to go down. Nice pick off here from Zoun. Takes down the Reaper, goes for a sentry follow-up. With the help of the sentry, what can we do? We can scout. We can get across the map, we can scout with those hallucinations and get an eye on what comes next. We can see here a 2-1-1. One base all in. Okay, basically what's happening here, typically we'd see racks into a factory into a CC, right? Then you get the expansion. But this is a starport and a second racks as well. This screams one base all in. Okay, I mean, I say it screams it. The Zoun doesn't see until now. What do I mean by that? Sentry. Sentry is out. We're waiting for the hallucination. Stalker pokes in. The Stalker doesn't see anything. The production's just a little bit too far back, so really well placed here by GuMiho. But we are waiting for that NG overcharge. We're waiting for that hallucination. For all Zoun knows, there could be a CC further back. It could be back there. GuMiho, he'd be willing to hide it. And here comes that hallucination. It's going to be on GuMiho to deny the scout. Cyclone moves out, and can he catch that hallucination? Oh, as it looks like there was a bit of a pause. Again, shout out to Enki. Shout out to Enki, of course, for running the event. He's one of our own. As, the Cyclone will miss the hallucination. Yes, the hallucination does move in, and now he knows. Now he's fully aware. He sees everything. He sees the 2-1-1. He does confirm. So Zoun, he's aware of the all-in, and back at home, he's trying to set up. He's trying to get ready. Drop into the main. Gateways are finishing up. So you get the drop though, it is unloading. So far, Zoun unaware. Okay, he's unaware of what's going on. Marines, they do slip into the main base. Thankfully, there is a shield battery. Zoun, he's trying to race over. He does waddle back. So far, 4 probe kills. Gets 4. Medevac does boost away, and at the same time, here come the reinforcements. Remember, GuMiho, he has no expansion. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. He's got a couple of tanks. He's got a Cyclone and Viking production underway. Viking will help. I mean, we can always land the Viking if need be. True. So jumping into the main. He's dropping in. Oh, never mind. Trying to force a rotation. Let's go. The boys are being pulled. There's not many boys to pull. I will say that. There's not many, but they're coming. Here we go. Viking lands. Viking does land. The first tank is going to be charged down. Can we repair in time? No, I cannot repair in time. Yeah, the boys were just a little bit too late. Yeah, they weren't here in time to repair. Without the tank, there's not really much here. Nice juggling so far, though. Nice juggling. But the shield battery is done. And Marines are going down. Yeah, Marines are going down. Medevac is being targeted. The boys are being pulled here in favor of Zoun. Dives on the Medevac, and Zoun, he will completely shut this down. Again, once the first tank fell, that was it. Oh, now we have a second. Second tank is out, but once again, we just blink in. He blinks in, takes out the tank, cleans up the army, and yes, Zoun, he will lose 13 probes, but he's still ahead in workers. He's still up in workers. He still has a greater economy. He's still on 2 bases, so Zoun still maintains a lead. He does maintain that lead, chasing down those reinforcements. Again, GuMiho had potential. If only the SCVs were either a little bit faster, a little bit sooner, or GuMiho's tank was a little bit further back, one or the other. But again, the tank just didn't get the support it needed. Barely not. And behind this, GuMiho, he's going to double down. I mean, he has to double down. Remember, there's no expanding after this. It's an all-in, so we cannot get a natural ace. It's just not going to happen. It'll be such an uphill battle. So we're going for a Cloak Banshee. It's a bit of a gamba, true, but hey, if there's no detection, it can work. And do you see what I see? 0 detection. There's no Robo, no Stargate, no Forge. Banshees have potential. The problem is that it's going to hit quite late. Like, we're still waiting for Cloak. Cloak is halfway done. By the time it finishes, there is a greater chance here that there will soon be detection, as there it is. Yeah, Robo is on the way. The Robo has begun. Here comes a hallucination, and Zoun, he may just scout that research. This hallucination does dive right into the main base, and Zoun, he will see everything. There we go. He gets eyes on the tech lab. He sees it researching. He knows. Yeah, he's now fully aware. Robo is getting up to halfway done. There's still a window in time here where this Banshee can find damage. There's a shield battery in the natural base that's partially covering the mineral line, partially. The boys are pulled for a second time. Let's go. Banshee gets across. We're going for the base trade. We are going to be coming to the base trade here. Bearing in mind that Zoun can always recall. If he needs to, he can always recall back. Does catch a tank, getting into the mineral line. And here comes GuMiho. Targeting now the shield battery. Observer's not out yet. There's a force field. Probes are getting caught out. Likewise, we see all the SCVs falling. Second Banshee did actually join the main army, but now there's detection. He's going for the sentry. Sentry goes down. Nice pick up. Takes down the sentry. Meanwhile, there's that recall. So Stalkers, they recalled back. And Zoun is going to try to surround. GuMiho, can he pull this off? With 3 tanks, he might take the fight. Ah, but charge. Yeah, charge finishing up in 2 seconds. We're waiting for charge. Charge is now done. Here comes extra warp in, and now we collapse on the army. Zalse trades so well here. Stalkers are coming from behind. He gets 1, he gets 2. 2 tanks go down. Can he get all 3? Oh, going for the Banshees. Ooh, a little bit messy here as the final tank does barely fall. Yeah, very close fights, but Zoun has reinforcements. And remember, GuMiho, he has Delta. There's nothing. There's no economy. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG will play it as Zoun, he does take a lead in this series, and again, it was a cheeky build out of GuMiho going for the 1 base all-in. Unfortunately, we saw that Zoun, he went Stalker Sentry, which means he had the hallucination. He scouted the all-in. He was able to scout the all-in. Despite that, GuMiho still had potential with said all-in, with his reinforcements, but as we pointed out, as soon as the first tank went down, that was game. Or at least that was the end of that push. Without that tank, it was the first thing to be targeted down, and once GuMiho lost it, he just didn't have the firepower to break the natural base. Just ran out of steam, and GG. GG well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. Ooh, another aggressive map here. Game 2 is going to be on Pylon. Oh boy. The aggression will continue, and we'll see if GuMiho does have another build up his sleeve. 1 base all-ins are going to be an option here, for sure, 100%. But I'm hoping we don't go for a 1 base all-in 2 games in a row. I'm hoping we get a little bit of variety here. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Team Vitality, leading the series 1-0. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. The red Terran moving out across the map real fast and real quick for SAUL Esports. It is GuMiho. Hello. GuMiho, as we are setting up with the proxy racks. There's no racks back at home, and the probe will confirm. Zani's checking. He's like, hold up. What's going on? Where's your racks? Where is your building, Pap? You have the money for it. So Zoun, he knows something is a little bit wrong. You can see he's double checking. Yeah, he's double checking. Checking the gases, going behind the mineral line as well. He's searching for the racks. And he moves out with a second probe. Oh no! And he finds it. Oh god, he finds it almost immediately here. Zoun. Again, he saw that there was a missing racks. He checks with the second probe. It pays off. He finds that, and he will deny the racks. Oh no. A brutal start here for GuMiho, as he will not finish that racks. I have to get rid of the tuna. This is not the tuna cup. A second SCV moves in, but now there's a second probe on this racks. I mean, again, Zoun, he knows how close it is to finishing. He knows how close it is. And with 2 probes, he might still focus on the SCV. Oh god, he will not! GG! GG, as the second SCV gets started down. And GuMiho, we gotta calm down, back. We gotta calm down. GG, well played. Zoun, he will take a 2-0 lead. Now, bearing in mind, it's the best of 9, so we have a lot of games to work with. We have a lot of games to work with here, so you have some room for error. That is true. At the same time, though, a rough start for GuMiho. Unfortunately, he doubled down, he committed when it came to the proxy racks. Again, Zoun, he found it immediately. He did pull a second probe because he knew that GuMiho would try to keep it going, and he did punish GuMiho. GG, well played. The aggression not quite working. Game 1, 1 base all in. Game 2, attempted proxy. Game 3, do we expand? GuMiho, let's go, let's find out. Now, game 3, we're loading into Ultra Love. Ultra Love is another one of these more aggressive maps. It's another one of these more aggressive maps. So GuMiho has the potential to once again go for a proxy, go for 1 base all in, go for a 2 base all in, and be in the face of his opponent. I'm expecting something aggressive here, especially after what happened in game 1 and game 2. But here we go, spawning in the bottom hand corner of Ultra Love. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Vitality, leading the series 2-0, looking very comfortable so far in this series, at least when it comes to defending in the early game. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing SAUL Esports, having a shaky start to the series, but remember, it's first to 5 wins. We still got more games ahead of us. Let's go. Let us begin the comeback as Rax is back home this time. It is GuMiho. The Rax is back at home. There is no SCV out on the map, and I still have not gotten rid of the tuna. The fast games are catching me off guard, baby. I'll try to remind myself. I mean, we love the tuna. Tuna's beautiful. Listen to the brutal OST. Obviously. Listening to the OST. That's why I'm so happy. Look at the tuna. I'll do my best to remember to get rid of the mod after this game. Do my best. But now, we do have an economic opener out of GuMiho. Single gas, Rags expand. For the first time this series, GuMiho is actually taking his natural. He's actually expanding. Okay. We're gaming. We're playing some StarCraft. Jesus, Zoun is being so annoying. Oh my god. As he will delay the CC, doesn't kill the SCV, but it gets very low. As the probe does fall. GuMiho does defend. And behind this, we are building up. Oh, okay, GuMiho trying to lay a trap. So a couple of things have happened here. Basically, GuMiho, remember, he went for the faster CC, and he knows that Zoun wants to punish this. Zoun, he wants to punish the greed, he wants to punish the economy, he wants to try to apply some pressure. So GuMiho, he's hoping that he will. He's like, hey, come at me. I'm getting a CC on location. Come at me with some adepts, come at me with some stalkers. If he does, we have marauders lying in wait with concussive shell to punish the gateway units. And here it comes Zoun. So basically, GuMiho is using this CC as a bit of a bait to try to catch some early units, some early damage. And the Adept is going to get... Oh, no concussive shell. 2 seconds too soon. 2 seconds too soon. The Adept will ward. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. The Adept is going to be forced to recall, but will get away. Whew. Does it get away? And with that Zoun, he will not lose any units. You can see him racing back home with the second Adept. He knows that he cannot threaten these Marauders. And GuMiho, he is going for extra racks behind this. Going for a 3-1-1. Oh, this is a little bit old. I say a little bit old school. This is very out of meta. This was very popular at the start of the year. So this is looking a little bit dated, but this is a 2-base all-in. This is the setup for a 2-base all-in. Again, if you were watching StarCraft, you know, back in January, February, March, like the first 3 months of the year, we saw this quite often. I mean, I say that. Coming up until the first season of GSL. Basically what's happening here is that we are skipping the starport. The starport is delayed. So delayed starport means delayed medevacs, means early tech lab on the racks, early stim, early bioproduction into a really hefty army early on, typically into a 2-base all-in. Just because you're building up your army faster than normal. Downside is you're delaying medevacs, which means you're delaying drop play, which means GuMiho, he has no scouting. He has no drop potential, he has no harassment, he has 0 map control, he has 0 idea as to what's happening. Typically with something like a mine drop, or Hellion harass, or Banshee play, or Raven based opener, it's designed to deal economic damage, yes, but also to scout your opponent. Speaking of, we do have Zoun going for his own opener as well, setting up 3 gateways here back at home. Very safe play out of Zoun. Yeah, very safe out of our Protoss player, playing 3-gate Blink in towards a 3rd, with a Robo also on 2 bases. Now, we have seen some players actually go for this setup and then go for a Temple Archives into Storm on 2 bases. Here we have a Bay into Colossus on 2 bases. Same idea, but slightly different tech. So 2-base Colossus before the 3rd. Very safe play here by Zoun. He saw, yeah. Oh god, that's why he's just hard countering. I mean, Zoun, he just scouted with a hallucination. I did miss that. I was looking at Zoun's base, but if you look at his vision, you can see he saw the 3 Raxes, he saw the eBay, he saw the factory, he saw the lack of starport. He's now confirming that there's no 3rd TC, of course. This screams 2-base all-in, so he's going 2-base Colossus. And because Zoun isn't spending any money on a 3rd and on his economy, he will have the army to shut down GuMiho, or at least he should, on paper that is. Here comes GuMiho, a couple of boys are being pulled. Again, it's all or nothing. GuMiho is 2-base all in. Oh no, the first tank! Oh my god, 1 tank goes down already. And Zoun's doing the correct thing. Again, if you're up against an all-in like this, any kind of all-in really, you want to be active with these Stalkers, as we're seeing here, to pick off tanks, whether it's Marines, Marauders, Cyclones, or a tank, which is really what you're looking for. That's the ideal. Whatever you can get to slow down the all-in as it moves out across the map. So really good positioning here at Zoun. A really solid start, and a shaky start for GuMiho as he's trying to all-in. Now with only 1 tank, we can see Zoun turning back around. He actually comes in from behind to catch reinforcements. Does bypass the army. Looking for another tank. He barely will miss it. The all-in's moving in. And the first Colossus is almost out. Now coming from behind. We see Zoun trying to focus on that tank, but he's going to take a lot of tank shots to the face. Yeah, that wasn't worth it. That was not worth it. That 1 tank putting in a lot of work. But now the Colossus has arrived. And he's got 2 more shield batteries. You can see Zoun, he's fully fortified on 2 bases. What I mean by that, he's got 3 shield batteries and no 3rd. He has no wasted resources on a 3rd Nexus. Not at all. The Observer sees you on siege. Yeah, he spots you on siege. He dives on the tank. Tank goes down. And Zoun, he's completely shutting down this all-in. And GuMiho, he doesn't have a seat. Now he starts to CC. Now that it's apparent that it's not working. Likewise, now he starts to starport as well. Starport just finished up, and all this is late. Late 3rd base, late starport. And right now, momentum is in favor of Zoun, which means Zoun can counterattack. You could argue that Zoun is kind of going for his own, like, 2-base all-in, 2-base counterattack, of course. Behind this, there's thankfully 1 tank on the high ground. The 1 tank will hold. Behind this, Zoun can expand. And I would argue here that Zoun is still in a really strong position. Both players are on 2 bases. True. 2 base versus 2 base. But Zoun has map control, which means Zoun can expand freely. And GuMiho is going to have to fight for his 3rd base. Going to have to fight to land his 3rd. As Zoun should be waiting right outside his front door. Remember, Zoun, he doesn't have to push in, and he should. Like, there's no need to push up this ramp into this natural. Sure, there's no bunker, and sure, there's minimal defense here. Actually, he probably could break the natural, because he doesn't know that we have a double drop instead. So, risky move out of GuMiho. If Zoun attacked here and now, Zoun would break the natural, would just kill GuMiho. Hallucination doesn't see everything, as GuMiho sends most of his army across the map instead. Cheeky move by GuMiho, but necessary. So this is the beginning of the comeback for GuMiho. He is moving in. Yeah, he is moving in. He's going for the third. Colossus somewhat in position, but on its own it's looking quite vulnerable. And swipes are going to be going up. Ooh, there's a cancellation though. Yeah, it does cancel the third. A very nice pick off here by GuMiho. And with that cancel, GuMiho, he's in this game. He's back in this game. It was a disastrous start, but Zoun, he had to preserve that third base, and he failed to do so. That actually stacked up. And here it is. GuMiho now expands. And again, he shouldn't have been able to do this. Zoun, this army should be across the map, should be delaying this expansion. But now Zoun is stuck at home thanks to the double drop. So the MVP double drop here from GuMiho cancels the third base, keeps the army busy, and allows GuMiho to get ahead. Now taking an economic lead. We got a game. We got a game. I would even say that GuMiho is in a better position. You can see he's down. Yep, double expanding. He has to. He has to double expand. He has to do something to recover in this game. Because down, he knows he's behind. He's behind. Oh! Here come the feedbacks. Softening up those metabacks. Metabacks are softened up. You see GuMiho moving out. He's pushing towards the fourth base. GuMiho does have that supply lead. And again, GuMiho is looking to put his first point on the board. Takes down the High Templar. Storm is not done. After the Templar goes down, and there's a cancel. Yeah, there's a cancellation. Fourth base is denied. GuMiho is pushing in for the kill. And again, Zoun, he was looking solid this game up until the double drop. Up until that double drop. And everything just went from bad to worse. Ooh, that's a nice storm. Storm does connect. Stalkers, they blink in. They blink into tank fire, though. That's going to be 4 tanks. Oh my god. Jesus, the storms, they do connect, though. Storms are connecting. The army does blink in. It's a very messy fight here, but it looks like the Protoss, looks like Zoun, he does barely claim the fight. We'll lose Colossus in the process. Does lose Colossus, does lose High Templar. At the same time, getting across the map. But Zoun, he holds. Zoun, he holds, he defends. Whew. We are in this. Zoun is going for his own counterattack, but pushing into this setup here is not going to be easy. I say that, no tanks, true. There are no tanks. Zealots are trying to catch reinforcements. Storm's going to be coming in. And nice Storms with the Vikings. They go to town. They take down the Colossus. Very nicely done. Colossus goes down, and I don't think there's enough of a gateway army here. There's what? 2 Stalkers, an Archon, an Immortal. Zealots are being dealt with. GuMiho does defend. Zoun has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. GuMiho, he still maintains that lead. Yes, on the one hand, it's impressive that Zoun's been able to take some fights and hold on and defend. But trying to kill GuMiho, that's not going to happen. Not anytime soon. Ooh, as the prism goes down, thankfully High Templar did unload in time. Did unload. That's GuMiho. He's rotating. He's rotating over. Running the main army. Nice. Oh, nice EMP. You can see he's down. He's slowly catching up. Now he's got his fourth. True. His fourth base is getting up and running. Oh. Stops connecting. GuMiho is keeping up with the harass. Oh, nice, very nice EMP. As both armies are soon to max out. GuMiho claiming his fourth base, Zoun getting his fifth. When it comes to our splash damage, we have 5 High Templar, no Colossus, not yet. The first one's out of up. Oh. Ooh, as GuMiho will take a storm to the face, he'll bleed out a big chunk of bio. He's going down. GuMiho does skirt around the right hand side. He's trading, catching an Archon and Immortal as well. He is trading. At least trying to. It does double back. Back. Now Zoun has a Colossus. Not many Vikings here for GuMiho. He's not really ready for this. No scans. Spots a Colossus. Getting to Liberators. Okay. Liberator production has begun for GuMiho. Fusion Core on the way as well. Getting to Liberator range. GuMiho is building up. He's teching, more importantly. True. We're getting into a longer game. It's been a very intense game, is what I will say, but our players have been deflecting each other. We've been bouncing up. And I will give the edge to GuMiho here as the Liberators hit the field. Right now, there's no good response to the Liberators. We do have 10 Stalkers, so there is some anti-air, and we could see Zoun try to force his way through those Liberation zones, but it's not going to be easy. Goes for it. GuMiho is setting up. One Liberator goes down. Just the one. So Liberation is set. GuMiho holding the line. Liberator routes across the map. Not really getting too much done here. Getting 5 probes. 5 probe kills. So now built up to 3 Colossus. Now the downside of getting into all these Liberators is that has impeded Viking production. There's still only 2 Vikings. So with a lower Viking count, these Colossus, they're looking a lot more comfortable. First Ghost goes down, the Ghosts are exposed. Yeah, Ghosts are exposed, losing a second Ghost. Storm's blowing up as well. And Zoun is going for the 5th. Going for the Planetary. Does bring it down. The Vikings are doing what they can. There we go, getting 1, 2, gonna get all 3 Colossus. He's stepping in. And the Colossus, they will not get away. And again, the Storms, they were lackluster. There were, what, like 2 Storms on the ramp, and that was it. Not enough Storms, and such a beefy army as well. So Marauder heavy. We just tanked the Storms. Does rush past, and how many High Templar are left? 3. 3 Templar remaining. Looks like most of them were not with the main army. EMP connects. There's 1 Storm. There's still 2 Templar left. Oh, EMP is a pop of 0 Templar remaining. There's 2 Colossus on the way. But GuMiho, this is his moment. This is his moment. He steps in, going for the main army, which means Colossus will pop out. Storms are coming from behind. But GG gets called. GuMiho, he does bounce back. GuMiho, he does put a point on the board. Whew, GG. GG well played. A crazy game number 3 here. Again, GuMiho, remember, he did kick things off with the 2-base all-in. He got scouted, he got shut down, and then he went for the Hail Mary play. He went for the double Marine drop. The double drop full of Marines. He was able to get across the map. He was able to cancel the 3rd base, force back his opponent, and actually expand. And GuMiho had the faster 3rd. He had the faster 3rd base, faster saturation. He got ahead economically. We saw that Zoun was fighting for his life. Zoun, he did survive the eventual move out from GuMiho, but he was treading water, really. Like, he never really had the momentum. We spoke about how GuMiho, tech-wise, was in a much more comfortable place. He was getting towards Liberators. I was concerned by the lower Viking count, but we saw that, hey, the High Templar, most of them were actually at home, not with the main army. There weren't many storms, and the Bio army could break through. GG well played. With that, GuMiho does put a point on the board, and we'll see if he can tie things up here and now, or if Zoun will bring back that momentum and extend his lead. Let's go, as game 4 is going to be on Incorporeal. Go. Hello, Lego. Lego. Bienvenidos, Fabi, bienvenidos. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing SATL Esports. Putting a point on the board. Fighting back in this series, it is a GuMiho. And spawning in the top left hand corner, but also moving out very quickly across the map with his probe. You have my attention. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for Team Vitality. It is Zoun. As we're setting up a proxy. Oh boy. Who are we rooting for last? Cost Phoenix. I mean, as I pointed out at the start of the series, GuMiho has been struggling in TVP as of late. He's been struggling a lot. If you've been watching him in the RSL qualifiers, in the World TV Championship qualifiers, in the online weekly tournaments, ever since EWC, specifically in TVP, GuMiho, he has been struggling. So I'm definitely rooting for him in the sense that I'm hoping that he can overcome that. And I also, for a lot of those TVPs that GuMiho's been losing, I haven't been able to cast them. I haven't been able to see them. I don't really know what's been happening. I don't know what's how he's been approaching the matchup. So I'm curious to see how he does approach it. So far, he has been hyper aggressive. 1-base all-ins, proxies, 2-base all-ins. Yes, we had a macro game last game. That was after the 2-base all-in failed, and we stumbled our way into a longer macro game. It was never the intention of our player. Meanwhile, we're committing to proxy 2 gate. The gateways are on the way. We have gas in production. Sorry, we have gas being mined, so we can get the cyber core, so we can reinforce with stalkers and adepts. For now, it is going to be double zealot. So double zealot on the way. Ooh, economic opener. Oh no. I mean, we are in Incorporeal. Incorporeal is one of the larger maps. The map will longer resistance by ground. Zoun, he is assuming that GuMiho would be greedy. He actually has no idea. He's gambling so hard right now. GuMiho, he's going for the faster CC, which means his factory is delayed, which means the Cyclone is delayed. It means the Heli is delayed. He's going 2 racks? Oh god. there is no, he's gonna have Marine. He's gonna have vanilla Marines to defend. Oh boy, it's going to be a very fragile army. Is he going 3 racks? He's going 3 racks as well. So no Hellions, no Cyclone, pure Marine for defense. And GuMiho has no idea because he did not scout across the map. He doesn't know that there's a proxy. He doesn't know that anything's missing. He has no idea what's going on. Neither does Zoun, but Zoun, I mean, he gambles correctly. As both players were playing blind, just blindly getting to their openers. One Zealot to delay the CC, the other Zealot to chase down the Marine. The wall has been thrown up. Zoun, what did we see? He didn't see much. Again, he ignores the natural bases, going for the kill, going for the main. Stalkers, they zone away the Marines. There's no bunker because, again, GuMiho never scouted. He just never saw anything. He doesn't know. Debo goes down. He gets one. He gets the other. GuMiho supply blocked. He's supply blocked. He cannot make anything else. He's got 2 Marines on the way, but only 2 Marines on the way. The boys are being pulled. Second Debo goes down. And things looking dire here for GuMiho. He's trying to hold on, but he's losing so much mining time. Bunker has begun. Now we have the adept. Now we just reinforce. And Zoun, he's expanding behind this. Remember, he's not all in, but he can just trade. He's happy to trade. Oh, takes down all the SCVs. Focuses down the Marines as well. There's nothing. There's just nothing here. GG gets called as Zoun. He hard counters GuMiho. There was so much gambling happening from both sides. Just as a reminder, what happened here, Zoun, he went for a proxy 2-gate blind. Remember, he didn't probe Sky. He had no idea what was going on. But we're on Incorporeal, and on Incorporeal, it is common to go for an economic opener, to go for a faster CC. It's common just because the map is larger, longer rush distance by ground, so on and so forth. So Zoun, he gambled here. He was hoping that GuMiho would open up economically, but this wasn't just an economic opener. This was a racks expand into a 3-rack. So again, there were only vanilla Marines to defend, and you saw just how useless they were. You saw how brittle they were, and they just went down instantly. Likewise, GuMiho also didn't SCV scout either. Like, just so many things, just the stars aligned for Zoun. GG. GG, well played. Zoun, he will extend his lead in this series, and we're now getting into game number 5. Now, bearing in mind, this is a best of 9, so we still have more games ahead of us here. No one is on match point yet, but we'll see if we can actually bring it back here. GuMiho is up against the wall. Can we get another point on the board? As up next, we're going to be loading into ley lines. Let's go. Let us go. Whew. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing SA2L Esports down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this a little bit more. At least I'm hoping for it. It is a GuMiho. Let's get my Google Translate out. I was not ready for this. Un momento. No. Are they talking about the build? Are they talking about what food they're gonna get as well? Maybe. Ah, okay. They're talking about the build. They're talking about proxy 2-gate. GuMiho was saying it hits so fast and like trying hard to distinguish between proxy 2-gate and 1-gate. Yeah. And GuMiho said I should have built a bunker right away. Like this. Basically, they're discussing the previous build. And in the top right-hand corner, speaking, we have the South Korean Protoss player. The South Korean Protoss. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Vitality, leading the series 3-1. It is Zoun. Let's go. But yeah, quick Google Translate. Here they were discussing the build, talking about the proxy 2-gate that he went up against. GuMiho, he was lamenting, talking about getting a bunker, talking about distinguishing it between proxy 2-gate and proxy 1-gate response as well. Yeah, they were just discussing the build. Here we go. As we do have, once again, economic opener. Racks expand, single gas. This time the CC's on the high ground. Also, during their banter, GuMiho, he's like, you better not be doing it again. he's like, are you doing it again? And so I was like, maybe. So you can see GuMiho, he's a little bit scarred after last game. That's why the CC's on the high ground. So he's being very careful. He's being very safe, getting the CC on the high ground instead. This does mean that it is a little bit inefficient because now the CC has to float down, but it means that it will finish. It means it will be safe. So it's going to be a little bit safer here, but less economic. Reaver gets across the map, and GuMiho, he will confirm that the gateway's back at home. Does confirm. Twilight Council here out of Zoun. Base build by John, you mean Jo Yun? I believe that's how you pronounce it, right? Is it like Zoun's name correctly pronounced is Jo Yun, if I'm recalling correctly. I think Yaku knows for certain. I'll stick with Zoun for now. But yes, there's like a correct pronunciation. Always a good. It's pronounced. It's. I don't think it's pronounced John. No. Ah, no. For now though, GuMiho is going to be expanding, getting his own 1-1-1 setup. But likewise, across the map, we do have Zoun getting ready here, going for 3-gate Blink. So once again, we have a bit of a safer start here from Zoun. We saw last game him go 3-gate Blink into a Robo, into a Bay on 2 bases, but that was a response and a reaction to a 2-base all-in. As we can see here, there's no indication of this being anywhere near as aggressive. As we're moving out with the early Marine and Cyclone drop, we're building behind this, and god damn it, the tuna's still there. God, look, these fast games have been throwing me off guard. But here we go. GuMiho, ideally he wants to pick up a pylon, pick up a key unit early on. We'll see what he can catch, as there is a safety shield battery at the natural. The battery's in position. Drop into the main. Cyclone distracting at the natural. Cyclone does distract. And the main base is exposed. Marine's dropping in. How he reacts. Does pull back. Hallucination likewise does confirm that Blink is on the way. That Cloak is on the way, and Blink is just about to finish. So Zoun, he's now aware of Blink. He already has the Robo, and behind this, do you see what I see? That is a Temple Archives before the 3rd expansion. Now, this is a trendy build as of late. If you've been watching StarCraft over the past month of play, basically ever since EWC, maybe I would say almost since Season 2 of GSL, we have seen more of this. More of these Temple Archive openers. Basically, early Storm. Storm should finish up by the time this army moves out across the map, assuming that we go for a later timing, but I believe GuMiho intends to push out here and now. So if GuMiho got extra axes and worked towards stim and went for a later stim timing, let's go! He's going into mech. If you remember at the start of the series, we expect to see this at least once in this best of 9, and there it is. We're going to be meching it up. He's going to mech it up. He's going to make it happen. Oh boy. Now, on the one hand, this is pretty cool. On the other hand, it means that Zoun will get away with Storm. I was going to say that if GuMiho hits pre-stim, then he could try to break Zoun before Storm comes into play. And I guess he is going to hit pre-stim, but he's going to hit a little bit later because he's going to get his factories up and running. He's getting a 3rd CC. GuMiho is building up towards the mid-game. I guess the plus side is that Storm is not the most effective tool against mech. Instead, Charge Lots, Immortals, Archons, they thrive that much more. Observer gets caught. Zoun so far is in the dark as what's going on. We have Hyperfly Rotors on the way. It's going to be Battle Mech alongside the Mass Banshee. Banshees, they do play their own role here as well. They can do a great job when it comes to sniping sentries, sniping High Templar, sniping these key units, while also harassing. But GuMiho needs time, is the issue here. GuMiho does need time. And likewise, we'll see how long it takes for Zoun to realize what's going on. Oh! So okay, it's close. So far, no major indication. He hasn't seen enough to confirm. Ooh, until now, a hallucination goes in. There we go. He does get us on all their factories, on all the bases as well. Now he knows. Now he knows what's going on. Behind this, throws down the Stargate immediately. Interesting response. Okay. I mean, if we're going into the late game, then Skytoss is going to be ideal. But definitely curious to see how he does get into that late game. How he does work towards Skytoss. No shot, we're just going to be rushing into it. I mean, Zoun's assumption is that GuMiho is going to turtle up, and so far, that is a correct assumption. Again, these Battle Mech upgrades are just now on the way. They were delayed. And this could just be Phoenixes to help deal with the Banshees. As I did see extra Banshees. There we go, we have 3 Banshees fanning out. Zoun, he will spot them. Does spot, but no detection. And no detection with the main army. Banshees moving in. Down, he rotates over. Where are we headed? Hellions, they cause a distraction. Oh my god, probes they line up. Yeah, they did bunch up there. 4, 6 probes going down. Not bad from GuMiho. As again, he also keeps Zoun contained. Remember, Zoun, he intended to push. Like, he was moving out with the War Prism, he was moving out with everything. His intention was to try to push and try to break the third. But now forced back home. Thanks to the Banshee, to the threat of the Banshee and the Hellions as well. So Zoun backs off, and GuMiho establishes his third base even further. Turrets, sensor towers, tank lines. Now this position is that much more secure. Phoenixes building up. As we mentioned, the Phoenixes that they deal with this, to deal with the Banshees. Just because, as you can see, GuMiho is making additional Banshee production, or he's making additional Banshees. So Phoenixes, they have their role. Sound is rotating. There are 5 Banshees so far. It's a lot of Banshees. And hopefully GuMiho doesn't chase. Oh, he's getting baited. Yeah, GuMiho has to get the hell out of here. He's got to leave. Sounds still sharking around. Both armies are about to max. They're about to max out, so there's that transition to Sky Toss. As we mentioned, like, ideally, if we're going to the late game, if we're going into a 4 base versus 4 base, then you will need Sky Toss. So Zoun is getting there. And we'll see if he does start working towards Tempest production. Right now, extra Robos as well. Zoun shouldn't be pushing into this. I'm also not too fond of the army composition that Zoun has at the moment. As we mentioned before, the High Templar, I don't really know if they really add too much value. Whereas we could be investing into more Immortals, more Phoenixes. So we'll see what the Remax is going to look like after we trade. Speaking of, we are going to be coming in. Does lift up the tanks, only for a moment. Yeah, better trade for GuMiho. Does go back the army. You can see Zoun pulling back, fighting out of range of the tanks. Crucial that he does. Yeah, tanks are a little bit too far back. Zoun, he trades out his Zealots well. Storm on the Hellbats, not bad. Does Storm, and again, we're just fighting a little bit too far forward here. GuMiho overextending. Again, most of these tanks were not a part of the fight. Zoun rotates. Behind this, getting into... Oh, I was assuming Mass Immortal, but it's going Mass Disruptor. Okay. Let's go. As we mentioned, like, a High Templar, they don't really have a place here, so he gets rid of his High Templar. Catching out some of these tanks, not bad. Getting 1, 2 more tanks, 3, 4 tanks, even the tanks are exposed. And he's getting all of them. Yeah, every tank goes down. As more Zealot reinforcements have arrived, Zealots, they trade so well against us, forcing friendly fire. Collapsing on top of the tanks themselves, on top of the Cyclones. Just going for the CC. And looks like he will get it. Command Center goes down. Zealot run by towards the bottom right. There's a planetary. Okay. Going for the tight defense. Not bad. Behind this again, still building up those disruptors. Okay. I'm not too convinced, I'll be honest, with the disruptors, but sure. They can punish a more battle mech-centric army, and funnily enough, we do have mainly Hellion Cyclone at this point. So they can be used to Zoun. So yeah, the Remax with GuMiho is mainly Hellion Cyclone, now Hellbat Cyclone. Scan reveals the Disruptors. It goes down now, making 3 Immortals at a time. This is what we expected, or at least I expected, is a more Immortal heavy composition. It's getting there. Regardless, down as map control. Hellion Runway moves out. I spoke about zoning. I don't really know if the Disruptors can really actually push into this. Getting on top of the tank. Never goes off. Oh, nice connection. Does force splits. Ooh, nice disables though here on the Disruptors. Disables a pop off. Disruptor's going to be going down. It's down. He's replacing them. Okay. He has faith. Disruptors are being replaced. It's down, pulling back. Nice fight from GuMiho. I mean, the MVPs were the Ravens. They did mass disable. And there's still plenty of energy. There's still more energy. So GuMiho does rotate. Rotates over. Once again, goes to the disable. At the same time, though, the tanks are exposed. Yeah, losing more tanks. Nice positioning here from Zoun, coming in from behind. At the same time, we do have Banshees harassing across the map, getting 7 probe kills. Once again, GuMiho just bleeding out a lot of units here. Mage is not quite yet done. Going for more. The armies are just passed by each other. We're going for a base trade. Zoun going for another fresh mining CC. GuMiho going for a planetary, going for a Nexus. And remember, Zoun can always recall. Zoun, he can always recall. GuMiho, he's racing back. Some okay mine shots. So GuMiho is rotating. As we're losing more CCs. Losing another orbital. And now he has to push into these Disruptors. I mean, Zoun, he's caught him out of position. GuMiho's army has to move in. One over connects. Once again, mass disable. Mass disable the Disruptors. And Zoun, he's somewhat getting caught out here. Oof, bit of an awkward recall. I'll save some units. And GuMiho is all in. At this point, GuMiho is all in. Zoun, he just has so much mining, he has so many bases, so many expansions. GuMiho's down to 1 base. Down to 1 base mining. His natural is mining out, his main base mining out. He will be floating over CC to retake his 3rd. That will help. But Zoun will be the first to max. Zoun will be the first to max out. And GuMiho, he cannot keep up these trades. Again, I'm still not fully convinced by these Disruptors, but I mean, they worked out in the end. I mean, the Novas weren't really connected because of the disables, but regardless, they did what they needed to. They tanked the disables. Zoun does take a messy fight, but he can afford it, so it's fine. He can afford these messy fights. It's okay. Zoun is moving in. Once again, diving on tanks, and GG gets called. There's just nothing here, nothing remaining for GuMiho and Zoun. He will take a 4-1 lead in the series, now on match point. GG. Ooh, GG, well played. Zoun does extend his lead. Meanwhile, big shout out to Luis GG in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid of 35. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Bienvenidos, todos bienvenidos to the Enki Pro Series number 6. Again, we are mid-series, or at least I'm hoping we are. It's a best of 9. Best of 9. We're jumping in game number 6, and we have Zoun taking a massive lead here. One more game, and Zoun will claim the win. The pressure is on GuMiho. Let's go. Pressure is on. I think he's trying to lose the Zealots. No, Zealots they are like quite beneficial over the course of the game. They're very cheap units and they do a great job against mech. Like going into this gateway robo heavy composition is kind of like the ideal. We saw that Zoun, he did have the tech ready for a Skytoss switch, but he never had to go for it. If the game slowed down, that's when you go into Tempest. That's when you go into your Skytoss. When I say when the game slows down, if GuMiho, if you remember, after a certain point, he switched into Battle Mech again, where he was making nothing but Hellion Cyclone. If he was going into Hellion Tank, and if he was being a little more defensive and turtling up on 4, 5, 6 bases, slowly expanding, that's when you 100% need to switch into like Carrier Tempest production, mainly Tempest really, and switch into that Skytoss. But because he went into a more mobile style, that's where you can viably still stick with like a gateway heavy composition instead. Personally, I'm still not fully convinced by the disruptors. I don't think they really justified themselves, but at the same time, even if they were other units, they most likely would have just been disabled anyway, right? Just because of the Master Raven that GuMiho was relying upon in a lot of those fights. But regardless, GG, well played. We're now getting into Tokamak. We're going to be getting into game number 6. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran down heavily in this series, and we'll see if he can bounce back and recover and extend this series any further. It is for SAUL Esports, GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. Go. As we are setting up, as we are settling in. We do have both Zoun and GuMiho here. Again, Zoun, he has quite a hefty lead, but we are now getting into Tokamak. Tokamak is known for its longer macro games, known for having a much more secure 3 and 4 base setup. God damn. Aye. It's not your time. It's not tuna time, pal. God damn. We'll get rid of this soon after. The problem is that I have to get rid of him out of game. Oh, I'll remember. But getting into Tokamak here, it's known for these longer later games. I'm a little bit concerned for GuMiho just because if you've been watching this series so far, GuMiho has been very quirky and very aggressive, which is what he's known for. True. It's what he's known for, and that kind of style is a little bit more favored on some of these other quirkier maps. On these larger maps, that's where it isn't. So I do like this. We do have a Rax Expand, Economic Opener out of GuMiho, and we'll see if he plays standard coming into this, or we'll see if he goes for another all-in. I'm not too fond of all-ins on Tokamak, so I'm hoping he does go for a bit of a more tamer approach, and he does get into a third CC and builds up into a longer game. You can make an argument that, hey, he just tried to go for that on ley lines. Yes, but he also played mech. Like, there's still that twist to it, of course. That's that kind of GuMiho flair. We'll see if he continues with that, or if he calms down coming into Tokamak. So far we do have, second Rax. God damn it. That is a Rax Expand into Factory, second Rax. If we see a third Rax, this screams 2-base all-in, which we saw earlier in the series, if you recall. It's already a build that we did get eyes on that Zoun was able to confirm. I'm hoping that's not the plan here. If you remember, that was on Ultra Love. On Ultra Love is when GuMiho went for the 2-base all-in. Hallucination does confirm the second Rax. And you can see he's looking for another. Do we go for a third Rax or do we go for a 2-1-1? There should have been a third Rax by now. There's Yaddle Sword, we're rushing into Stim. 2-on-1. Okay. Or he's waiting for the hallucination to die. It's one or the other. We have the money for it. We have 400 minerals. Ooh, okay. So, late tech by GuMiho. But again, I'm pretty sure it was late because of the hallucination. But at the same time, because the follow was going to be so delayed, there's a very low chance it would have been another Rax. And here comes the backup hallucination just to confirm anyway. So 2-on-1. This is a rare sight in TVP. There are reasons for that. We'll get into it as the hallucination confirms the 2-on-1. When I say 2-on-1, 2 Raxes, 1 factory, 1 starport. That's the name of this build. This is a very common build against Zerg players. It is uncommon against Terran and Protoss. Not never seen. We still do see it from time to time in TVT and TVP as well, but it's a rarer build because there is so much pressure on GuMiho. Now, there are pros and there are cons. First things first, this is going to be a 16 Marine medevac timing with Stim. So there's going to be a lot of Marines, there's going to be Stim, there's going to be medevacs, you can be active on the map, and you can get some damage done. Now, if this fails to get damage done, you can punish this quite hard because of the lack of factory production. Oh, okay. Okay, we have a twist here. Typically, we add-on swap the starport onto the reactor for reactored medevac production. Here, we're keeping the reactor on the factory for reactored Widowmine production instead. So less medevacs, but we have Widowmines to help support the arm. Okay, okay. Interesting. So this is a bit of a different variation than the norm. Ooh, as the Cyclone does barely get away. Zoun kites well, picks up Marines. Remember, there's no Stim, and because of the build, specifically what I was going to get to, the biggest weak point of this build, no tanks. 0 tank production, and also no bunker either. So moves like this, if Zoun, for example, went 4-gate Blink Stalker, he's going 3-gate Blink into Colossus production, by the way, but if he went 4-gate Blink, he could punish this, and he could abuse this because of lack of tanks and lack of bunkers and lack of any kind of support behind this, at least pre-Stim. Once Stim finishes, then that window is closed. We can see Zoun, he delays his third base in favor of Colossus production. This is very similar to the build and to the reaction that we saw on Ultra Luck. Ooh, as one Stalker goes down. Nice catch there from GuMiho. But if you remember on Ultra Love, because Zoun saw the all-in that was coming his way, Zoun, he intentionally delayed his third base in favor of splash damage. Here, it's not an all-in, so he does lay his third, but he still gets it. In game, on Ultra Love, he just never got his third base, until the game progressed. So this is very safe play here by Zoun, not as safe as Ultra Love, but safe nonetheless. And it means that Colossus will be out in time for the move out. The Colossus wouldn't have been out in time for the double drop, but GuMiho never went for the double drop. As he's now moving out with it, but this is a very delayed drop here from GuMiho. Ay, ay, ay. It's now moving in. Down behind, this is trying to get ready. As Danny's racing back home, GuMiho is sending it. The Colossus has arrived. GuMiho dives on the Colossus. Gets a sentry, gets a Colossus as well. Nice pickup. The Colossus goes down, miscontrol there by Zoun. Doesn't pull away in time. And GuMiho is trading well so far. But he's going to be cleaned up. Ooh. We lose the empty medevac. Again, thankfully it was empty. GuMiho pulls away. And Zoun does hold. Zoun defends. Now, as we settle into this, who are we favoring? Well, GuMiho does have a third. True, his third base is getting up and running. He's now getting into tank production, building up his Raxes, getting into the mid-game. Getting into the mid-game here. Zoun, ideally, in this kind of game state, would want a fourth. So his fourth base is going to be delayed. So late 4th base here from Zoun. GuMiho, meanwhile, is building up his own bio-tank army. And he's been quite active. He got spotted by the Observer. He's spotted. Zoun, he's reacting, he's responding, he's keeping up with the rotations. So far, so good. GuMiho does have a drop on the right-hand side, so we can try to slip in. Speaking of, Zoun does get across the map with the Zealots. Okay, not bad. Does get across. There we go, 4th base on the way. I will say this 4th base is late for Zoun, but I think he was just playing scared. I think he was just a little bit scared of how hard GuMiho was going to commit. And we're slowing the game down here. And this is what Tokamak is known for. We're going to slow the game down. GuMiho is taking up. A 4th CC is on the way. We're getting into a longer game. Sounds moving in. Across the tuna. Oh. Catching out a drop. Catch out a couple of units. GuMiho's drop is activated. Only a single medevac full of Marines, so not the most threatening drop, but gets it nonetheless. We got some damage. Nothing to defend. 8 probes. Okay, let's go. 9 probes go down. Medevac boosts away. And will eventually fall, but this medevac has paid for itself. It drags back the entire main army. It gets 11 probe kills. I say 11, getting up to 13? Jesus. 13 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. So, very nice drop here from GuMiho. Likewise, catching up when it comes to his bases. Getting into his own Ghost production. No Liberators yet, true. It's getting into Ghost, then into Vikings. Zoun likewise about to support his army. He's got Colossus soon to be into Storm. Storm is on the way. So ideally you do want both. Or just Disruptors. Zoun is being active. Now jumping into the main. Likewise, GuMiho, forced to lift up his 4th. He is forced to lift. So I'll say to unload. And we're getting into the mineral line here. SCVs are going down. The production is being delayed as well. Zoun, he doesn't push in with his main army though. So just relying on the drop. Getting a lot done, to be fair. When I say getting 16 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Insane damage in the main. Zoun, I feel like he could have tried to have moved in, whether it's, I mean, couldn't push into the siege line, but maybe gotten some damage done here, at least sniping the center tower. But Zoun played it safe. He played it safe. Back the hell off. Waiting for Storm. Let's wait for Storm. I mean, Zoun is in a better position. True. Storm is almost done. Sounds being active. Now we have, well, now at least we're thinking about Liberators. Fusion Core's on the way. That should be for Liberator range. It'll take some time. And so far we have 5 High Templar, 3 in the Prism. Zoun is setting up the Zealot run by. He's getting ready for a run by. He's just taking all the bases on his half of the map. Mass expanding. So they force a cancel. They force a cancel. They try to track the army. Ooh, tanks are in position. GuMiho, he's holding. Does hold on. I would say that all the tanks are actually centralized on the right-hand side. There's actually no tanks here to defend the planetary, which is a little bit concerning. But down he moves with the main army. He sees all the tanks. The tank line is setting up. He's coming in for the flank as well. 2 tanks are on siege. And he's going for it. He's going for the kill. Yeah, storms on the bio. Marine's going to be zoned away. That's the final storm. Storm in these zones. Tank line was completely reset. And now the Colossus. The Colossus, they go to town. There's only 2 Vikings. Oh, getting to 5. Did I say 5? Down to 1. Down to 1, down to 0. 0 Vikings left. The Colossus, they reign supreme. Who needs Storm when you got lasers, papi? Ay, ay, ay. Saves in. Oh, he wants a Colossus. Does want them. They kite back. There's a recall. And the Colossus, they... Ooh. 2 of them do escape. 2 of them do get away. Whew, does get 1 though. Does get 1. Behind this, we have more Colossus building up. And again, the Viking count is not there. 0 Vikings. Storms. Back at home, making 3 Vikings at a time. He's building up his Vikings. At least trying to. Planetary is done, thankfully. So GuMiho does hold him to the base. Does snipe the ghost, or barely not. Nice control. GuMiho picking up the ghost. Does find the observer finally as well. That observer was giving Zoun so much information. I believe we're up to 4. Yeah, 4 Colossus. So we have 4 Colossus. We have, once again, 5 High Templar. Prism is being rebuilt. Ideally, down he wants that planetary. Other Colossus are exposed, though. Yeah, miscontrol here. He should not be in this position. Storms do punish. But we'll be losing 1, 2, 3 Colossus. Yeah, a really awkward fight here from Zoun. He gets the expansion, but this was an expensive trade. Zoun caught with his pants down. He will lose all the Colossus and the High Templar. Oh, we have more Templar coming in. Did snipe the expansion, true. GuMiho starving out a little bit here. He's going for the gold. Floating on over. Zoun does bypass the main army, just going for now the 3rd base. Ooh, catching medevacs. 2 more medevacs going down. As we're rebuilding the fusion core as well. Sorry, building a 2nd fusion core even. It feels bad, man. Getting a 2nd core. Zoun, he doesn't have to push into this, but he's distracting. Meanwhile, we do have that Zealot run by, and this is a planetary. Sorry, this is not a planetary, it's an orbital. Zealot can trade better. Army dives in, storms as well. Ooh, does enter the storms. Maybe action out of GuMiho. More Marines going down. Storms are brutal. And Zoun, he's done it. Zoun, he has broken the 3rd. GG. Zoun, he will claim the series 5-1. Taking down GuMiho and becoming the Enki Pro Series number 6 champion. GG. Congratulations. GG, well played, Zoun. He will claim the series. A strong showing here out of Zoun. My condolences to GuMiho. GuMiho, he had some good moments here. He was hyper-aggressive early on. I would say it was just a really rocky start for GuMiho. Remember, Game 1, he went for a 1-base all-in on Last Fantasy, which fell on its face. Game 2, he went for a proxy, and also fell on its face as well. That was on Pylon, if you recall. And the first 2 games ended like in 6 minutes. Like, it was just a really fast start and really shaky start from GuMiho, and he started down almost immediately 2-0. He was down 2-0, so just a really rocky start. In the aftermath, we saw him getting a little bit more comfortable here, getting into a longer game on Tokamak, getting into mech as well, but last time and time again, Zoun did shut him down, and we spoke about this in the lead up to the series, but GuMiho has been struggling as of late, specifically in this matchup. In TVP, he's been struggling more than the other Korean Terrans, and it is something that he's trying to work on for sure. He's trying to work on it, but it's still working on it, that's what I will say. But regardless, GG well played. And again, the series was very GuMiho as well. Very GuMiho. A lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins. Hey, we even saw a 2-on-1, but a GuMiho variation of 2-on-1 with reactor Widowmine support as well, which didn't really come into play. So, yeah, fun series. A fun series overall. A solid play out of Zoun more than anything. Zoun, he was more or less reacting to the shenanigans from GuMiho and reacting quite well. And with that, GG. GG, well played, Zoun. He will claim the series. And with that, we are now halfway through the broadcast. Halfway through, because up next, we have a very special show match. It is the Enki Epic Series. Now, if you're curious, what is the difference? We have the Pro Series, we have the Epic Series. Pro Series is StarCraft 2, Epic Series is StarCraft Evolution. Bam! Up next, after the break, we will have TaeJa versus Classic. If you've been living under a rock, if you've not been watching StarCraft, you might not be familiar, but TaeJa, he has been back for almost 2 months. He's been back for quite some time. We have been casting him in here on the channel as well. TaeJa has been playing a lot, competing a lot, and has been looking pretty solid is what I will say, but we'll see how he compares to Classic. Bearing in mind that TaeJa, he is back, but only back in StarCraft Evolution. He is not back in StarCraft 2. He doesn't play StarCraft 2. I mean, he plays StarCraft 2 in the sense that he has to play StarCraft 2 in the format that is StarCraft Evolution, because it's SE2 versus Brood War, but he doesn't compete in StarCraft 2 tournaments. He only competes in StarCraft Evolution tournaments, just as a heads up. Oh boy, so this is gonna be a wild one. it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. Again, when it comes to his play and his form, again, if you haven't been watching TaeJa, he's been looking solid. When I rate him against the other Terran players in StarCraft Evolution, I'd rate Byun as #1. I don't know if I rate Spirit as highly anymore, just because Spirit has been so inactive. But I would say that TaeJa's comparable to I almost said Homono. No, who am I thinking of? He's comparable to Dice, and he's comparable to Kiwian. That's it. I was thinking of Top. He's comparable to Kiwian as well. So I would say that TaeJa, he's in the upper echelon of Terran players when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. But I would still kind of delineate between someone like TaeJa and someone like Byun, for example. But still looking solid, still looking impressive. And we'll be covering that series after the break. After the break. So we're going to be going on a short break here. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, and when we come back, we'll have TaeJa and Classic facing off in that best of 9. Oh boy. See you soon. See you soon. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second half of the broadcast. Here we just wrapped up with our first series, our first best of 9 between GuMiho and Zoun in StarCraft 2. But now, welcome one and all to StarCraft Evolution. This is a mod in StarCraft. This is a mod, and a mod that has been there's been so much work, so much effort put into it. Of course, I've been actively updating, patching the mod itself, and now we are here competing in StarCraft Evolution. We've been casting a lot of SC Evo over the past year. I say year, basically since last year, around October, November of last year is when we started focusing and broadcasting StarCraft Evolution. Has been worked on quite considerably since then, of course, and we now have the StarCraft Evolution Championship starting this weekend. Again, we were otherwise preoccupied and busy with the Thermal 2v2 circuits, so we weren't able to cover any of it, but we will be casting those matches via replays. StarCraft Evolution Championship matches should be via replays this week. This week we'll be all over it. Until then, though, we do have a show match between TaeJa and Classic. Again, for those that are unaware, for those that maybe tuned in during the break, TaeJa, he is back. He came back almost 2 months ago. I want to say it's been almost 2 months since TaeJa's return, but he is back specifically in StarCraft Evolution, not in StarCraft 2. So he's competing in the StarCraft Evolution Championship. He's been competing in StarCraft Evolution League alongside show matches and alongside, show matches like this as well. And it's been looking pretty good. He's looking pretty solid. I would say he is among like the top 5 Terran players in StarCraft Evolution. He is, I would say that he is a step below Bjorn. I still feel like Bjorn is number 1, at least for the time being, until we get into the championship, because that will kind of reset the hierarchy a little bit, but for the time being I do rate Bjorn very highly. I would say that TaeJa is kind of like just behind him amongst the players like Kiwi and like TOP, like Dice as well. I do think they're all a lot more comparable in skill. But here we go, we're jumping into our best of 9. Game 1 is going to be on Pylon. Let's go. Oh god damn it, I was meant to get rid of the, hold on. It's meant to get rid of the tuna. Aye. Alright, we're going in. We'll be going in. So hopefully everything is okay. Me removing the tuna as we were loading into the replay may have broken things. God damn it. That's on me. That's on me for sure. Another caster bought out by Big Tuna. True. So we are going to be going on a short break. Actually, I'm going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we should have a series. Again. My fault. I say hold on. We'll try to go back into it. Un momento, papi. Un momento. Catching him in the chat. GuMiho and TUP hell. He has been struggling. He has been struggling as of late. Unfortunately. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But for now, we are going to be going on a short break. And hopefully when we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have our next matchup. We'll have TaeJa and Classic coming up soon. See you soon. See you soon after this very short break. And we're back, and we are back. Ooh, I do apologize for the short break, but we have returned with our fresh best of 9 series. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. We have our best of 9. We have some StarCraft Evolution. Once again, it's been far too long. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of a pylon, we have our South Korean Terran player. Hold on, I'll fix up his name. We have our South Korean Terran. We have our pink Terran. It is summer. I mean, it's cold. It is winter here in Australia, but it's summer somewhere in the world because he is here. He is back. He is TaeJa. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Brood War Protoss. Bear that in mind. It is for Team Virtus Pro Classic. Let's go. Let us go. Classic versus TaeJa. Our series has begun, and we are jumping into game 1. Now, for those that maybe are newer to the channel, we have been casting StarCraft Evolution, which is a mod for the past, what, 8 months at this point. But if you're a little bit newer, you might not be familiar. This is a mod that does bring together SC2 versus Brood War. They are permanently, I mean, this mod doesn't support necessarily SC2 versus SC2 or Brood War versus Brood War. It is specifically patched and balanced and designed for StarCraft 2 versus Brood War specifically. So every game we always alternate. I say we alternate. I believe it's loser's pick. So whoever loses this series will be able to choose whether they want to stick with their current version of the game or switch to the other alternate version instead. Here it's going to be TaeJa with SC2 Terran and Classic with Brood War Protoss. Bam! That's why you can see some very different unit models here for the buildings and for the units themselves, because they are just different units entirely, and different buildings entirely as well. The Brutal OST. Let's go. So now we do have our gate expanded aside. Of course, say that opening here out of Classic. Now, when it comes to our players and how well they're versed in this mod, I would say that Classic, he is either the best or top 2 Protoss in StarCraft Evolution. Classic and Hero both compete in StarCraft Evolution, and I do rate them both very highly. So they're top 2. They're top 2 in that. Fun fact: Classic and Hero are top 2 in StarCraft 2, and they're top 2 in StarCraft Evolution as well. When it comes to Protoss, like they are, you don't get better than them. So this is gonna be an uphill battle for TaeJa, I'll be honest. Like, yo, Enki is throwing TaeJa into the deep end. I'll be honest. Like, TaeJa's good. Is he Classic good? We're about to find out. The initial Dragoon has arrived. When it comes to openers here, we do expect a Dragoon Gateway Heavy opener. We do have Dragoon range on the way. This is standard. This often does lead in towards a Robo, into Bay, into Reaver drop. That is a very common follow-up. But know that Classic has been enjoying a charge follow-up as of late, going into Forge +1, into Zealot Legs, into a more Gateway Heavy style. We'll see which one Classic does go for. As the meta of the game has been changing a little bit as of late, we haven't been casting StarCraft Evolution over the past, like, almost 2 months. Just because we've been so busy with EWC, with Home Story Cup, with the 2v2 tournaments, we've been so preoccupied. In that time, we've had so many patches, or we've had 1 big patch and like 2 like amendment patches as well. So there has been a shake-up here when it comes to overall unit values, when it comes to the meta as well, or at least I assume so, but I haven't confirmed it because we haven't been able to cast. So I'm a little bit out of touch. I'm like 2 months out of the current meta in StarCraft Evolution. I will say that. So I do apologize if maybe there are certain changes that have been occurring as of late that I'm just not aware of, just because I haven't been, again, we haven't been casting for around a month or over a month. For now, we have our 1-1-1 setup here at TaeJa. We do have that Robo follow-up. Again, in my mind, I'm expecting Robo into Bay into Reaver. So we'll see if TVP is still the same as it once was. Let's go. Dragoons are breaking in. Again, now that they have range, they do outrange the bunker, not the tank though. Be careful. There we go. They fall further back. Tank has to reposition, and that's going to be so much free damage here in the bunker. Tank does move in. A bunker is going to go down. Oh, one more volley. Oh my god, barely does. Zoun takes down the bunker. Dragoons, they do survive, and behind this there it is, Reaver drop. So again, Robo into the Bay, into shuttle speed, into Reaver production. This is very common, very common in TVP. This is kind of like the go-to standard build, the meta build. So Classic is not deviating from what we expect. And so far TaeJa, he's stuck at home. Stuck defending. There we go. Reaver is on the way. Getting into our Reaver production. Behind this, we do have the Citadel on the way as well. The Citadel should be for charge. There's a Fortress +1. We actually already mentioned this, if you recall, when it comes to the build of choice from Classic, how he's very fond of going +1 at Zealot legs, and that looks like that's going to be on the horizon here from Classic after the Reaver drop. As we have, I believe that is the I believe that is a new graphical asset. Previously, this actually shared the same graphical asset as War Prison speed, but I believe this is shuttle speed. So we have Zealot legs. Zealot legs being research +1. Again, we have the charge lot follow-up or the speed lot follow-up. Bearing in mind that charge is not really a thing. Zealots just get faster. Reaver coming in towards the natural. And TaeJa, how quickly does he react? Oh, Reaver gets dropped in. Scarab shot goes off. Oh, and TaeJa, he does split. Does split towards the end. 1 SCV and 1 mule. No major damage. Oh no! But he does clump up. 6 SCVs going to be going down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, he'll lose 6 workers. Reaver, he wants 1 more shot. No! Oh, he comes. He does clump up. 8. Whew, that could have been so much worse. You can see how weak those SCVs are. That was almost disastrous. But does get away. Does pull away. Dragoons, they try to punch the Raven. Shuttles leave. Oh, and we do bleed out a couple of Dragoons. That's 2 Dragoons going down. But the Viking falls. Viking does fall. Another Scarab shot. Oh, another Scarab shot does go off once again. Does connect with the bio. And TaeJa, we gotta calm down, back. Take it slow. Classic does pull away. He pulls away. We got more Zealots behind this, bearing in mind that Warp Gate is not a thing, so you have to build units like Raxes, so we're just building 1 unit at a time. The Zealots are coming. Oh, clutch micro. Classic saving the Reaver. Does barely save the Reavers, does pull away. Again, TaeJa trying to keep up. As he finally gets 1. Yeah, 1 Reaver finally goes down. TaeJa, he breaks out. Whew, he does finally break out. Breaks out, he punishes. Scarab shots are not connecting. Gets another Reaver. There's 1 Reaver left. No Scarab. He's building as we speak. TaeJa boosting past. Rushing into the main at the same time. Classic going for a quote-unquote base trade. He does go for the tanks. Zealot legs are done. And the tanks are going to go down. Gets 1. Gets both tanks. At the same time, Dragoons able to deflect. Oh, sorry. Zealots, they deflect. TaeJa doesn't commit in. The Zealots are going to be overwhelming. TaeJa getting called out, so no bunker. No bunkers, no mines. At the same time, TaeJa going for the dive. Going for the natural. Pushing into a Scarab. Oh my god. Does get the Reaver. Once again, nice snipes. So far sniping 3 Reavers, one after the other. Very nice. Very nice when it comes to the main army aggression, but across the map, these Zealots are wreaking havoc. 9 SCV kills. Mine shots finally going to be going up. Wood mines have arrived. But the Zealots are not done. They go for more SCVs. It's going to be 10 workers going down. TaeJa, he was forced all the way back home. And Classic has time to breathe. He does have time to breathe behind this, getting to Reavers. Likewise, we have Storm on the way as well, so we're working towards Storm. Yo, if you are watching for the first time, if you have not seen Storm in SC Evo, mate, you're in for a treat. It's my favorite part. One of my favorite parts. So far, we're going to be going for the Reaver drop here towards the natural. Zealots are going to be deflected. TaeJa, he's holding on. Let's go. Holding on to his 3rd. Does hold, does defend. High Templar on the way. Meanwhile, more Reaver drops here into the main. Classic so persistent with this. Just non-stop Reaver harass. This also means that the Reaver's not home to defend. And here comes TaeJa. Yeah, here comes TaeJa. Pushing in. Ooh, we'll lose the Raven. Raven goes down. He does work his way through the Zealots, getting on top of the Dragoons. The Storm is done in 10 seconds. It needs more time. He dives on the Templar. Gets one, gets both Templar. Both Templar go down. No Storm. Does focus on the Dragoons. Storm is now done. For the High Templar, they need time. They have no energy. Remember, there's no energy overcharge. Not an SC Evo. But the Zealots, they will defend. They do hold. TaeJa racing back home. Classic, he holds. Classic, he holds, and he's gearing up. He's getting ready for those storms. There we go. He has it. Storm is ready. Storm is ready. Storm does connect. Oh god, Storm does connect. And again, Brutal Storm does hit different. it does hit different. The Marines, they just melt, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Marines do melt. And Classic behind all this gets a fourth. He gets a fourth base up and running, does get saturated. TaeJa, he is running out of steam a little bit here. He's bled out so much of his bio. And you can see in the supplies, I mean, the disparity there is getting larger and larger. The trades have just been so much in favor of Classic, and the economy also in favor as well. That's Classic getting a fifth expansion. TaeJa just has not done enough. Likewise, Zoun towards that natural. And into the main, just distracting. Remember, the shuttle cannot warp in, so just only a handful of zealots. Likewise, jumping in towards that third as well. Classic just being so annoying with a handful of units. While he's building up at home, that's a lot of High Templar, that's a lot of Storm. He's just trying to gear up. He's massing up his army, but at this point, I don't think he has enough to break through. No, without some solid EMPs. Like, the EMPs are so crucial here for the next big fight. We see Classic catching reinforcements. Does catch the rally. At the same time, TaeJa does move in. He's going to get the expansion. Nexus is going to go down. We're trading bases. We're trading a base for a base. Remember, Brutal Protoss does not have recall. There is no recall, so he turns back around. Brutal Protoss is much more immobile. Storm going to be popping up. High Templar, they come back to defend. Ooh, and here come the Storms. And no EMPs. Yeah, no EMPs. The Ghost out of vision. Oh, no! Brutal Storm on top of the ramp. He goes in. He goes up the ramp. Ay, ay, ay. And with that Classic, he will hold. He will hold. He will defend. Medivacs, they will get away. Oh, actually, picking off that High Templar, not bad. 2 more Templar go down. Nice pickups. We got some nice pickups, but the last stage, he needs more than this. He needs much more than this. And again, this also shows just how different, like, I should emphasize this as well, especially for those that may be watching for the first time. Brutal Protoss is the same as SSG Protoss in name only. Like, they're very, very different races. They play very differently. Again, there's no blink, for example, so you can see here that drops like this are actually much, much more annoying to deal with because Brutal Protoss is less mobile. It is straight up less mobile than SC2 Protoss because there are no blink stalkers, there's no recall, there's no warping mechanic either, so drop play can actually be really effective. The problem, though, is that TaeJa, he's only just now getting into his drops. Up until this point, Classic has been overwhelming, he's been out trading, and TaeJa hasn't had the opportunity to go for drop play at all. Until now. Right? Until now, we just haven't seen any drop play. Storms, they pop up, and Classic, he will overwhelm the main army. He's going for the kill. Classic is going for the kill. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Classic will take a lead in the series. And again, a very intense game 1 here. TaeJa, he had some really nice moments. I was so impressed by his ability to snipe those Reavers. If you remember, I'm referring to when he sniped 3 Reavers, one after the other, when he broke out across the map. TaeJa, it almost felt like he was all in. And the reason why it felt that way was because TaeJa was losing so many SCVs. He was losing so many workers in the lead up to that kind of moment, losing a lot of workers back at home, losing a lot of his economy. His 4th base was non-existent. He was committed, and as the game went longer, he fell further and further behind. He just wasn't able to do enough. That's another reason why he wasn't going for drop play, was because he was going for these big frontal pushes. He was, again, kind of all in himself, or forcing himself that much more committed, that much more all in, and he just wasn't breaking through, wasn't breaking Classic. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, we're now getting into game number 2, and we'll see if TaeJa can bring it back. Bearing in mind, this is a best of 9, plenty of games ahead of us. Let's go. Let us go. Does TaeJa play Brood War? I don't think he does, in the sense that you're assuming. Hold on, we'll get back to it. There are some SCG players that are currently playing Brood War, like True, for example, like True, MC, but TaeJa, he does not compete in Brood War at the moment. He doesn't compete in ASL. He might play Brood War in his free time, that's a maybe, but he doesn't compete in it, if that's what you're asking. Doesn't currently compete in Brood War. Here we go. There. TY is an ASL. There you go. There you go. Yeah, TY is an ASL. But here we go. Here we go. We're now getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Blue Storm, one of my favorite maps in the tournament map pool. We have the South Korean Protoss player. Once again, we have the Brood War Protoss. Representing Team Virtus Pro, it is a classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the pink Terran, the SC2 Terran. Bear that in mind. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is TaeJa. Here we go, and TaeJa looks like he's setting up for a proxy. Okay, now welcome one and all to Blue Storm. Blue Storm is a ported map from Brood War. This was in the circuit back in, I want to say like 2016, 2015. If you remember, Blue Storm was in SSL, in the Sport TV Star League. This was when StarCraft Remastered came out, but I think the map is even older than that, so it's one of the older Brood War maps. Here we have our natural base. We have a tower that you can knock down. We have a very narrow entrance into the natural, so you can honestly defend quite easily on 2 bases. I mean, relatively easily. There's also another tower you can knock down here as well. It can be very difficult to actually push through this area, push through this ramp, push through this choke point, I should emphasize. But TaeJa is going for the proxy. He's going for his proxy. Gases are being taken, which means we might commit a little bit harder here to this setup. Meanwhile, Classic, he does scouts. At Classic, he sees. He's like, hold up. Where's your racks? Where is the racks? Where is your production? Classic, he knows something is wrong, something is up. He does open up 2 gate as a result. A standard opener is gate expand, but this is a 2-gate opener into the cybercore, or gate, yeah, 2-gate opener into the cybercore. So very safe play here by Classic. And he scouts. Yeah, Classic scouts, he confirms, he does get eyes on the racks. You can see him fully walling off this Reaper Cliff as well. There's the Blue Storm. And as you can see here, this entrance into the natural is 1 pylon wide. So 1 pylon fully walls this area off. That's why it can be quite difficult to actually break this position. It's just a very narrow entrance into the natural. Reaper does slip in. Wait, what? I believe that should have been a full wall. Uh-oh. Reaper gets a probe. Again, it is proxy Reaper. Uncertain if it came through the backside, because I believe this should be a full wall off. I think it just went through the front. But it may miss it. Meanwhile, the Zealot does get across the map, going for the bunker. Ay, ay, ay. Ooh, it does force a cancel. And the Reapers are racing back. They're racing back home to defend. I love the Zealot model as well. Like, he's walking with purpose. Oh, gets an SCV. Gets an SCV, and behind this, Classic expands. Classic is expanding. TaeJa, he will soon expand as well. He's floating back home. The proxy, the aggression has ended. And Classic defends. Classic does defend. Behind this, once again, going into Dragoon range. And once again, we're expecting Classic to go into Dragoon range, into Dragoon production early on, then in towards Reaver drops. It is just the go-to currently in the meta. This is good with the Reaver drops. We know bunker is complete. If we deviate, then we will point it out, of course. Like, it isn't the only way to play, and Classic, he does like to mix things up from time to time. But I was very impressed with his drop play last game. As Dragoons, they go into town here on the army. Ooh, again, they do outrange. Pulling back. We need that high ground vision. There we go, the Rax has arrived. This is another big feature. I should have pointed this out, something the Dragoons were abusing. It wasn't they were outraging, they weren't outraging this army, but they had high ground because there's a ramp. This is a unique situation where there's a ramp going down into the natural. This is not common in StarCraft 2. When I say it's not common, I don't think we've ever seen a StarCraft 2 competitive map in the map pool where you have a low ground natural base. And this is a feature that is actually on this map and on Holy World as well, which is another map. Where you have high ground going into the natural, which is crazy. I mean, sorry, Holy World is different because Holy World is your main base is on the low ground, which is even crazy. But you can see here just taking advantage of the high ground. Tank volley going up. Classic, gotta be careful. Gotta be careful with your positioning. Behind this, we have the Bay on the way again. Here comes that Reaver drop. So shuttle in towards Reaver production, towards Reaver drop. But we're going for a faster Citadel into faster Zealot legs. But the same overall setup here. So it's going to be Reaver drop followed by +1 Zealots. I say +1. I don't see a Forge yet. True. So we're waiting for the Forge. Classic going for a much faster third. Very greedy here by Classic. But because of his Dragoons, he's containing, right? He's containing his opponents. Meanwhile, we have Cloak Banshee on the way from our Terran player. Okay. Going to Cloak. Reaver gets into the main. Reaver gets in. Reaver gets a full scout. Reaver does confirm the build. As I say Reaver, sorry, Reaper confirms the build. I don't think I've done that before. The Reaper versus the Reaver. Give back. Give. As I believe Classic also is lacking information. So there's a bit of a give and take here. I spoke earlier how Brood War Protoss is similar to SC2 Protoss in name only. This is another example of that, where vision is much more difficult here because, I mean, especially in the current meta in SC2, because of the energy overcharge and because of sentries as well and the hallucinations, scouting is so free for SC2 Protoss, like in the current meta, in current StarCraft 2. Here in Brood War, or here for Classic, he doesn't have the luxury of hallucinations, he doesn't have the luxury of that, of like Oracle Scouts or anything like that, so that's also why Reaver drops are so meta, because this is a way to harass and also scout as well. It's a much later scout, but it's a way to get into the bases and figure out what the hell's going on. Without that, he'd be playing blind. Banshee does hit the natural. Dragoons are in position. The Observer likewise also part of the natural as well, despite that 3 probes going down. And TaeJa does move away. Ooh, meanwhile the shuttle taking a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. He doesn't fully get eyes on what's going on. Marines are zoning away. They're trying to at least. Oh no! Oh, the tank volleys go off. The Reaver goes down. And Classic, this is brutal. We'll lose the Reaver. The shuttle takes a lot of hits. The Vikings coming in as well. And TaeJa with the interception. He should catch a shuttle. Shuttle speed kicks in. He zooms away. Oh no! It doesn't get away. And a much stronger start here from TaeJa. Shuts down the Reaver. Shuts down the shuttle. I believe the Banshee's still alive? No. Ooh, the Banshee got hunted down, actually. Okay. Nice wiggle fight Classic. Did hunt down the Banshee. But now TaeJa doesn't have to worry about the Reaver drops. At least nowhere near as much as previously. Likewise, he also has some safety turrets as well to zone away. So again, a much better setup this time from TaeJa. And we spoke about the ramp coming into the natural. We have a ramp coming into the third as well. Not just a ramp, but there's a lot of high ground here. So once again, this third base is much more accessible, much more approachable from the opposing side. This is also why typically as the defending player, you want to have control of this area here. This high ground is crucial to take control of. Otherwise, you have to deal with this. This ramp is brutal. Remember as well, mischance is a thing. In StarCraft Evolution, there is a chance to miss when you attack up a ramp into high ground. So Classic also has that advantage. Not just up a ramp and into high ground, but also into like tall grass. If there's like tall grass or shrubbery or a steam vent, for example, there's a chance to miss when you shoot into that. Again, like SE Evo is just a very different. It's just very different. Different maps, some different mechanics. That's Classic. He is again abusing this location. As we spoke about, like, this is the next big hurdle for TaeJa, is just taking over this high ground to make sure he's not abused like this. Meanwhile, the Reaver drop is back. Where is the Viking? Viking is at the natural. Speaking of, Reaver drop does hit the natural base. Vikings in position. And the Scarab Shot goes off on the initial army. Viking does Zoun. Reaver gets left behind. And the Reaver goes down. Once again, an expensive loss here from Classic. Ay, ay, ay. Classic now losing 2 Reavers for barely any damage. At least he does save the shuttle. But again, like the amount of harassment that he's achieving here is lessened. And now TaeJa breaks out of his third base. And he will take over the high ground. Catching out the Dragoons. Remember, Dragoons that don't have a blink. They're getting caught out. Late reaction by Classic. You can see how unforgiving this is. If you react too late, you will lose everything. Remember, there's no blink, there's no recall. So some brutal losses here for Classic. Here come the Storms though. Yeah, Storms are connecting. They punish the Marines. Zealots are coming in. Tanks almost caught on siege. That's a lot of Zealots. Jesus, that's a lot of Zealots here. Classic, yeah, he's hunting for the army. There's not enough support. The tanks are solid, but there's not enough support for the tanks. And Zealots, they just collapse in. They just collapse in. Massive storm on the tanks. And TaeJa, he will lose everything. He had a solid defense, I'll say that, but he did overextend, got caught out in the open. Classic, he was waiting for it to collapse on in. And suddenly TaeJa, he falls behind. That was how many tanks going down? That was 5 tanks falling. Sorry, 6 tanks even. One of them was friendly fire. So 6 tank shots went down. And that is not easy to replace. Ay, ay, ay. Classic, meanwhile, because he had so much map control, because TaeJa was fighting for his third base, Classic takes his third, takes his fourth. Fourth base is up and running. TaeJa now moving out with his own double drop. It does move out, does hit the mineral line. Okay, 9, 10, 11 probe kills. 11 probes going down at the same time. Zelarama runs into reinforcements. TaeJa will defend. Ooh, but a massive drop here in towards the natural. 9 SCV kills. TaeJa pulls away. TaeJa pulls away as Zealots are dealt with. TaeJa going into like a biomech-ish style. Again, the Hellbats are on the way to deal with, to help buffer. True. DTs have hit the field. DTs will delay mining. Classic does need another expansion soon. Especially if TaeJa saturates his fourth. But he's still getting there. Classic moving out. He gets eyes on the fourth base. Once again, he wants to engage out in the open. Without proper mine support, I don't know if I'm really confident here in TaeJa. Storms, they graze the army. Nice splits. Ooh, better storm towards the end. Yeah, towards the third. Oh, look at the fourth storm. Oh, the storms. Jesus. The storms are brutal. The army barely survives. Wait, Sims in. He Sims in. And these Dragoons are so fragile. He's getting on top of them. The Dragoons are going down. As we do juggle some of them to safety. Classic is holding on. He is holding on. Behind this reinforcement with more Zealots, more High Templars, sticking with this Gateway heavy army. He's not taking up into Sky Toss or anything further than that. Ooh, okay, it's working out quite well here. As these storms are punishing. Storms to be punished. Where are the Zealots though? Storms are mainly sent away. They get a medevac. Medevac goes down. Dragoons are being targeted, as we mentioned. Without Zealots, these Marauders, they go to town. They focus on every High Templar. And TaeJa will take the fight. He will take the fight. Ah, but here come the Zealots. We're waiting for them. Yeah, the speed lots are terrifying. They collapse in. And while they're distracting the main army, we have a drop. We have a drop here into the natural. Gotta respect the Zealots. Especially when there are no mines. And again, TaeJa, instead of going into Widowmine, is going into Hellbats. It's an interesting response. Again, I'm not fully convinced, but we'll see. As they roll this to tank, meanwhile we get the double drop into the natural. We have 3 High Templar. Storming on the medevacs. Gets one. One medevac goes down. Another storm from the high ground as well. So I go for it. TaeJa for the first time in a long time actually pushing across the map. As Classic is getting a 5th, but can he hold on to it? Can he hold on to that 5th base? He's coming in from a flank. Storms are ready. TaeJa, I don't think he should be here. Storms, they mainly zone. They catch out the medevacs. And medevacs getting caught. Not enough Storm, not enough Zealots though, and TaeJa, he will take the fight. Just barely. Takes the fight initially until the Zealots arrive. That's going to be 24 probe kills. Those two Hellbats, they popped off. Oh my god. Hellbats, they popped off in the middle line. A nice damage here by TaeJa. Still has to respect those Storms. The EMP connects. Okay, he lands the EMP. Still being overwhelmed by the Gateway Army. Still is being overwhelmed. TaeJa pulls back to the high ground. Pulls onto the ramp once again. Zealot into the mineral line, distracting reinforcements. And again, it's been a non-stop tug of war here between Classic and TaeJa. Mainly in favor of Classic. TaeJa only just that one time got across the map. We do see Classic taking another expansion, double expanding. But the saturation isn't there. Oh. Getting on top of the Archons, at least trying to. As we're going back into Reaver production. I mean, Classic, he somewhat has the economy for it. TaeJa does go for some drops. And again, this is what he needs to do. We need to go for drop play. We need to alleviate that pressure, force Classic to be defensive. We spoke last game about how difficult it is for Brutal Protoss to be defensive and to keep up with these drops. And he will lose an expansion. True. We'll lose a Nexus. Nice done there by TaeJa. As the Reaver drops it back. As Classic distracts. Oh, TaeJa does pull away. Does pull away in time. TaeJa pulls back. Oh, that's a lot of mules. 6 SCVs going down. Classic moving in. He's got the Storms. Oh, nice EMP. Gets one High Templar. One Templar gets caught. But there's still so many more Templar behind as they are bunched up. You can see TaeJa is hunting. Yeah, he's running in with the Ghost. Ooh. Doesn't get close though. Oh, sorry, my opponent does land the EP. I didn't think he did, but he does land. Okay, he lands the EMP. We have more High Templar rallying in, but with that EMP, TaeJa, has he done it? Has he done it? It's so close when he takes down the Dragoons. Gets on top of the Archons, and you can see just how fragile this army is. Without Zealots, without Storms, Dragoons, they just topple over. They just melt. They made out of paper, man. Yay. Every Dragoon goes down again. An insane EMP there from TaeJa. I thought it was caught out before the EMPs, but not. Did land. Did get in. Yeah, Reaver getting caught out. And TaeJa is going for one base, but he should be going for the other as well. Yeah, taking out 2 expansions. 2 bases falling. We just see Classic trying to race over, but he cannot save these bases. Not anymore. Another shuttle. Shuttle getting caught out. He's getting caught as well. Losing 2 bases, and from here, TaeJa snowballing out of control. Still has to respect those Storms, though. Does have a Ghost. Does have a Ghost ready. Runs through one of the Storms. Nice pre-split. It's a very nice pre-split. TaeJa. He avoids most of the Storms this time. But we got more Storms coming out. This time he does take to the base. Yeah, this time the Storms are connecting. Oof. Yeah, TaeJa wasn't quite expecting more High Templar. This time they connect. And Classic, he holds. Classic is holding on. He has the northern expansion, true. Northern base keeping him in this. He scans TaeJa. Yeah, he does scan, does spot the expansion. Bottom left is still up and running as well. TaeJa, where are we going? What do we want? Yeah, he's going for the Northern base. Headed towards the top side. But now Classic has an army. And now he's got plenty of charge lots. Or speed lots. A couple of Marines do get into the mineral line. Nicely done. Marines get in. Probe's going to be going down. Oh god. But he will take everything to the base. The Storm. The Reaver shoved as well. The Scarabs connect. TaeJa, he had so much momentum earlier. If it wasn't for that fight on top of this ramp, if you remember, I'm referring to the moment where he took like 3 storms to the face. If that fight had just gone a little bit better, then maybe TaeJa could have broken through. As he will settle for another mineral line. From here, he can just pick up. Remember, no anti-air. It's only Zealot. Only Zealot here, so he can just pick up, pull away. Takes down the expansion. The northern base survives, so even though he got 17 probes, still up and running. How many had Templar? 10. 10 Templar. Nice avoid. 2 storms don't quite connect. The other 2 do. Oh, gee, there are just so many storms. Oh my god. We just blanket the area with storms. Classic is like, hey, at least one of them will connect. True. True. Just carpet bombs with all the storms. And with that, Classic, he breaks through the main army, now pushing into the bases. Not the most important mining base, but he is catching production. True. He's catching the production out. This also does mean this base is safe, as TaeJa he's stuck defending. Ooh, brutal connection. And Classic, he may have just done it here, as he's rallying with more High Templar, with more storms. We can see TaeJa is scanning. He's scanning, checking saturation, trying to see what the game state is looking like. He's checking, how screwed am I? Like, what am I up against? As the base does fall. With this, TaeJa's northern bases are now cut off from himself. Classic instead just going for the main army. Taking some better trades. Classic looks like, yeah, his attention is now towards the northern bases. No planetaries. There's planetary top left, but not this center base. And top base is exposed. TaeJa forced to lift. Loving this double drop. There's not much saturation, unfortunately, but and Classic, he responds. He was already racing over. Classic already in position. Does catch a medevac. And is this the main? Natural. The natural was just floated over, but the last mining is denied. Again, TaeJa is getting desperate. He's muling as hard as he can. Going for the Hellbat drop. Let's go. But back in heart of the swarm. Back. True. Storm Zoo Zone. Storm Zoo Punish, I should say. Gee, oh god. Again, it's almost purely High Templar here, by the way. It's almost purely a Templar army. One EMP could go hard, but there's no ghosts. Unfortunately, there's just no ghosts here. If you remember, we were committing TaeJa earlier for that one EMP that he landed, where he took the fight in the center of the map. But here, the ghosts just now coming in. The EMPs are connecting, but that's after the fight. After the storms. storms, they pop up. GG gets called as TaeJa is broken, and Classic takes a 2-0 lead in the best of 9. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a Classic, he will extend his lead, but an intense, very, very intense game number 2. Very back and forth as well. Again, TaeJa had some very nice engagements, very nice fights, referring to when he was able to land those DMPs in the center of the map, when he was able to attack, overwhelm, and he almost won the game then and there, especially when it came to his control, when it came to his pre-splits. Emphasis on pre-splits though, because again, he was distracted, he looked elsewhere, then bam, more storms just kept hitting him in the face. But a very intense game here, almost non-stop action. That's another reason why TaeJa had a really hard time punishing the bases of Classic, was because Classic was never, he was unrelenting, it was just always in his face, ensuring that TaeJa never had the freedom, never had the time, or almost never had the time to actually go for drop play, to actually go for those counterattacks. It was very rare for TaeJa to go for them because he was just stuck defending or stuck fighting and engaging so often. GG. GG, well played. A very exciting game number 2, and now we're getting into game 3, and we'll see if TaeJa can begin the comeback, as up next we're going to be loading into Vermeer. Oh boy. Here we go. Storm TaeJa out of the game. That were a lot of storms. Almost pure storm. Aye. There were a couple of fights there where there were enough storms where you could try to split, but literally the entire screen was covered in storm. It was insane. Oh my god. It's like, mate, try to split versus this. Bam! Just a full screen of storms. Oh god. Aye. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into game number 3 here, as spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 2-0. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the now Brood War Terran, by the way. It is TaeJa. So we have a role reversal. We have Brood War Terran up against SC2 Protoss. Let's go. Now, there is a build that has been, or that was very popular and very trendy. That was 3-racks. 3-rack stim timings were very popular, very trendy. I know that there were like, I want to say 5 different patches that tried to address and tried to nerf the build and failed to. Like, it was still plaguing the meta. We'll see if we go for something similar here, if it's still trending or not. I know that TaeJa, he's typically one that's willing to explore other avenues. He's not necessarily one to just embrace that one build time and time again. But we'll see. We shall see, as TaeJa is going to be scouting top left. And now welcome to Vermeer. Vermeer features something that is extinct in SE2. It's a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom right, bottom left, top right, and top left. And TaeJa scouts immediately. So nice scout from TaeJa. Does confirm the location of Classic. TaeJa pulls away. The building, the vision of this morphing in Nexus, I believe, did not see the SCV. So TaeJa did turn around just in time. Does preserve that SCV. And I believe Classic is currently unaware as to where his opponent is. As here we go. We're going for the... Oh, we're going for a what looks to be a Vulture all-in. So it looks like 1 base Vulture all-in, 1 base, 2 base Factory Mass Vulture. With this, I believe we're going for the machine shops. We're going into Spider Mines and Ion Thrusters. That's it. I almost forgot the name. So Ion Thrusters is Vulture speed. Spider Mine, of course, is the ability to throw down Spider Mines. I believe this should be Mass Vulture here. There is a build from back at home, 1 base Vulture all-in, which also is very meta, which also is very trendy. And oh, we're not going for Vultures, we're going into tank production with Spider-Man still though. You have my attention. let him cook, baby, let him cook. Hallucination does scout the machine shop researching. Vulture production has begun. We're getting into Spider Mines, but again, tank first is interesting to me. I mean, maybe just a little bit more defensive here. He'll have the tank to defend against any kind of aggression. True. Yeah, just 1 tank. Okay, just a singular tank. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Is it stuck? Is the tank too thick? Or is that intentional? It might just be intentional here to keep the tank at home. Also, remember, Brood War tanks, they have to learn how to siege. Remember, they're otherwise stuck unsieged. Those Vultures are amassing. Stalker breaks in. Vulture's going for the counterattack. Spider Mines are now done. And shows his mines. Yeah, he's setting up here to intercept the Stalker. Setting up outside of the shield battery as well. Stalker's a race back home, and ideally he wants to bait them into the Spider Mines. As Vultures they get into the middle. Oh, the hallucinations though. Let's go. Does bait out with the hallucinations. Nice moves here by Classic. Sentry goes down. There's only 2 mines left. Oh, one connects. The other connects as well. Gets a Stalker. Does get a Stalker. Remember, Spider Mines, they're not triggered on workers. Early use, another Stalker goes down. The Spider Mines are popping up. 1 Stalker left. Tank has arrived. And this might just be too much. I mean, I say that the shield batteries are now done, and we don't have any Spider Mines left. We need more mines. Yeah, without the mines, these Stalkers, they can hold their own. They shut down the Vultures one after the other. Yeah, Spider Mine does get focused down. And Classic is holding. He's holding. There was momentum. There was a moment there for TaeJa, but again, he unfortunately was unable to stop the warp in. He was unable to stop the Stalker. Oh, Jesus. Again, you can see how well the Spider Mines, how well they connect. Oh my god. They strip away half the HP of these Stalkers. 1 mine shot. 1 mine. Man, Widow Mines ain't got nothing on Spider Mines, but now we have detection. The Spider Mine's going to be dealt with, and Classic he holds. And TaeJa's in a rough position because, I mean, he traded, yes, but he's on 1 base. This CC is so late. Such a delayed CC here for TaeJa. He was hoping to end the game, and he didn't kill Classic. Didn't kill him, failed to do so, and now TaeJa's in a rough place. He's in a rough place, rough position. Now the Spider-Man goes off. We get a full wall back at home. The Vultures, they do nothing. Meanwhile, we do have the Observer here to detect the Spider Mines. Siege mode is researched, but the Immortal's moving in, and with that, Classic, he'll level up. He'll level up the army, takes down the tanks, takes down the Marines, takes down everything. And what is that home to defend? 2 tanks. Okay, there's going to be 2 tanks defensively, soon to be 3 tanks. We're going to mech. We have Mass Factory here back at home. I believe that is the Goliath upgrade on the way. That is a new visual. Let's go. This upgrade model, or the upgrade asset, used to be the Cyclone's Hurricane Thrusters, or Macfield Accelerator. But it looks like they recently they updated the model, which is cool. As Goliaths are coming online, and the Observer does spot the army. As from here, TaeJa's contained. TaeJa is going to be contained here on 2 bases, and Classic can just freely expand. He can just freely expand, freely take another base. Oh. Classic dropping into the main. Does drop in, just peeking whatever he can. Going for the tank. Ooh, and going for the warp in as well. The Prism is going to go down, but not before the warp in finishes. Juggles a couple extra times. Oh, goes down with the Immortal inside. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, just a little bit too greedy there from Classic. Classic, he will lose everything. Okay. Nice win there for TaeJa. Gets the Immortal, couple of Stalkers, and the Warp Prism. Nice catch. TaeJa still needs more to go his way, but it's a good start. As he has to take down the Azid, it has to kill the Libra to actually move out. We mentioned earlier the tank was stuck, had to lift the factory to actually move the tank out previously. Yo, tanks are thick. TaeJa's trying to move out. So far, Classic is keeping up. Again, Classic doing the best he can to slow down the push by engaging at a time. Oh, this visual I haven't seen before. Also a new asset. Okay. Wait, is that Ion Thrusters? I think so. Because it wasn't researched earlier. Yeah. Okay, so new asset for iron thrusters as well. I appreciate it. As also going to try to trigger those mines, as there is a minefield set up, but there is detection. Yeah, Widow mines are going down. They're being cleaned up. Charge Rolls diving on top of the tanks, and similar to SC2 Terran or SC2 Mech, tanks are going down. They're going down to the Charge Rolls. As TaeJa, he will lose everything. Every tank goes down. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take a 3-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, TaeJa, he was so close to breaking Classic with his proxy double factory, with his massive vulture, with his tank move out. He was trading well, but then the warp in finished, and Classic got up to 3 stalkers with his shield batteries after the initial defense. That was almost game then and there. Just because, again, TaeJa was 1 base all in, so it was just falling, and he fell so far behind after he failed to kill Classic. He tried to recover, and he had some nice moments, but again, he could not keep up with just the scaling of Classic. GG, well played. With that, Classic extends his lead even further, and now we're getting to our next game number 4. We'll see if TaeJa, I mean, we gotta start the comeback soon, Pappy. Yeah. It's a best of 9, so we still have plenty of games ahead of us, true, but alas, hopefully we can make a series out of this. Is up next, going to be loading into Holy Worlds. We spoke about this map earlier. There's a lot to get into. It's one of the more quirky maps out there, and is often vetoed. But in a best of 9, no vetoes, true. No vetoes in a best of 9, so we get to experience some of these otherwise vetoed maps. Oh, let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of a Holy World, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. We'll see if we can start the comeback. It is TaeJa. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Brood War Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. Again, Classic, he is held up 2nd place at EWC, by the way. Like, Classic, you can make an argument that he is the best Protoss player in StarCraft 2 at the moment, and likewise, in StarCraft Evolution, I can say with confidence that he is the best Protoss in StarCraft Evolution. So, again, Enki, he did not hold back when it came to throwing TaeJa into the deep end and throwing TaeJa at the best Protoss in StarCraft Evolution. Bold move, Enki, bold move. But here we go. CC first. Okay, CC first out of TaeJa, and welcome to Holy World. This is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom left, top right, and bottom right as well. But if you remember, we spoke about this map earlier. This is the map where your main base is on the low ground. There's a ramp going down into the main, another ramp going down into the main, and another ramp going down into the main. So your main base is on the low ground, which means if your opponent's able to take control of the ramp and take control of the natural, like, it is brutal trying to hold on to that main. It is almost impossible. So very unique feature. Ooh. As doing CC first into a 3 racks follow-up, but very bio heavy this time. No mech, of course, playing SC2 Terran. So going into a sim timing follow-up. Likewise, ooh, Classic Scouts immediately. Again, 4-player spawn map. The Gamba is real, but Classic does find TaeJa. Does find him. This is also why I appreciate SC Evo, just because of the more, there's just so much more variance in the map pool. Like, 4-player spawn maps are so common. They're so common in StarCraft Evolution. We were just on Vermeer. We have this map as well. We have Troy, for example. True. We have Return of the King. There's a lot of 4-player spawn maps. We have the island maps as well. You know, one day StarCraft 2 won't be too scared of 4-player spawn maps. We're barely dipping our toes into it with Lost Fantasy in SC2, where we finally have a 3-player spawn map. Just one 3-player spawn map in a 9-map map pool, so we never see it anyway. In SC Evo, mate, there's 4-player maps all over the place. Like, I didn't care. But it is a different game as well, true. It's a little bit different. TaeJa's looking, by the way. He's still searching for his opponent. June's a poke in. 2 poke in. Again, behind this, remember the 3x follow going into fast stim. So early stim into mass marine. And checking the vision, Classic, remember he already scattered, so he knows. And the answer to this is fast splash damage. So far, Classic, he is now going for a later expansion. He went for a 2-gate opener. Master Dragoon containing TaeJa. Another feature of this map is here, Disruption Webs. There are neutral permanent Disruption Webs in the center. Think of Disruption Web almost like Blinding Cloud, right? They're almost like neutral permanent Blinding Clouds out there. It's like the closest comparison in SE2. So if units go into them, they're limited in what they can do if they are forced to attack while inside the Disruption Web. Dragoons, they do take down the initial bunker. Bunker goes down, but hey, with Concussion Shell, never mind. Nice target finding on top of the Marauders. Very nice. Gets one Marauder. Stim is not done, so the army cannot close the gap here. Remember, he prioritized Concussive Shell. Ooh, but does get one, does get 2 Dragoons. No, barely just one. Oh, it's so close. Barely not. Again, very, very clutch micro here from Classic. Barely saving, preserving these Dragoons as they're barely out of range. And again, without Stim, TaeJa cannot close that gap. He cannot close it. He's being punished. He's being abused. Losing another Marauder. Another Marauder goes down. And Classic, he may just overwhelm this position here. Remember, there's no more bunker. There's no tanks behind this. Because the build is only Marine Marauder. There's no tanks. There's no Widow Mines. No nothing. Oh, does get one of the Dragoons. But these trades are just so efficient here for Classic. So efficient. Everything would change when Stim finishes, but it's just so far away. I mean, TaeJa did decide that. Did offer that. Oof. Gets a Marauder. Gets another as well. Does trade 1-to-1 with that final Marauder, but alas, we're losing SCVs. We're losing workers here. Behind this, Classic could look to expand as well. As he's still just rallying across the map. Behind this now going into Reavers. We have shuttle speed on the way. The Reaver drop is upon us. And TaeJa is barely keeping his head above water here. Oof. As a better trade here for TaeJa. I mean, hey, this time he's got Stim, true. This time with Stim he does punish. Classic forced to back off. Remember, Classic is not done because here comes the drop. Shuttle's moving in. The Reaver has arrived. TaeJa, ideally, he wanted to hit a timing with Stim, but that timing is come and gone. And he's already lost so much by. I'm afraid to look here. He's lost 15. That is insane. 15 Marauders went down. Ooh. Scribe Shot goes off. TaeJa getting his 3rd CC on location. Remember, there's a pocket 3rd. As Marauders, they don't shoot up. Marauders, they do not shoot up. The shuttle is free to do whatever it wants. Another Scarab Shots. And GG. GG gets called. 0 anti-air. We just micro to our heart's content. And Classic overwhelms. Classic takes a lead in the series. Classic is now on match point. GG is now on match point. One more game and Classic will claim the series. I'm hoping for a back and forth. Earlier, GuMiho did take a map off of Zoun, so at least we had a game 6, but here the pressure is on TaeJa. Pressure is on. I see in the chat, is TaeJa really back? Yes, if you haven't been watching StarCraft as of late, TaeJa, he came back like almost 2 months ago. Almost, like a month and a half ago. But as is stated in the chat, he's only back in StarCraft Evolution. He is not competing in StarCraft 2. So he's not competing in like GSL qualifiers or SE2 weeklies. He's only playing in StarCraft Evolution tournaments. In SC Evo. Whew, but GG well played, and again, Classic, he overwhelms, he punishes the build of TaeJa, winding it back. Remember, TaeJa went CC first into 3-racks into fast concussive shell, which at times can do well, but we saw that he was just being abused by those Dragoons. Sure, he was able to slow and catch some Dragoons, but he bled out so many Marauders. Eventually, he finally got Stim, but by then, he had lost 15 Marauders. It was insane just how poorly he was trading up until that point. Again, his opener, his build was being abused. I remember Classic scouted. Remember, he scouted, he saw the build, he saw with his first probe the 3-rack setup as well. So he knew. He knew ahead of time. That's why he was as assertive as he was. And now we're getting into our next game. Potentially the final game of the series. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner. Or right side. Bottom side. Bottom side of Purity and Industry. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss. We have the blue Protoss representing Protoss Pro. The world, the EWC runner-up. The runner-up here of the Esports World Cup. It is a classic. And spawning in the top side of Purity and Industry, we have the South Korean Terran player with the South Korean Terran. We have the returning Terran, of course, as he has been back for quite some time from South Korea. It is TaeJa. It's summer somewhere. Summer somewhere. Let's go. The summer of TaeJa, it's back. And TaeJa, I mean, he's had a rocky start is what I will say. He's had a rocky start. Maybe it's too cold. I mean, the winter. It's hitting him. It's hitting him. But yes, he's had a rocky series so far. We've had some really good games. Like, honestly, I really enjoyed Blue Storm. Blue Storm was a lot of fun. Blue Storm was very back and forth. TaeJa at his moments, Classic at his moments. In the end, did go the way of Classic, but again, it was an intense back and forth between the two players. We'll see if we can get more of that as we load into Purity and Industry. This is one of the newer maps in the map pool. I say newer, I mean compared to all the Broodor maps, but if you remember, Purity and Industry was in the map pool back in 2021, like 2020/2021 era of StarCraft, coming into the COVID era of StarCraft. In StarCraft 2, that's when this map was in rotation on the ladder, but this map has been amended. If you remember, previously we had slow zones all around. Here, slow zones have been removed. They removed slow zones accessing the island base, so the island is more accessible. Likewise, I believe they did open up the area here as well. Like they did make some adjustments. I think they removed a base. I think there was like a base here as well. I think they removed a base. They made things a little bit more accessible in some areas and a little bit more choked up in others. But this map has been amended specifically for SC Evo. Meanwhile, Racks expand, economic opener out of TaeJa, forced to throw down a little bit off center thanks to the probe. So a little bit off center, but not the biggest of deals. And Classic is going to be opening up once again with his 2-gate Dragoon setup. And once again, we're expecting 2-gate Dragoon into Reaver drops. That is my one big criticism so far. I say criticism. For the most part, when it comes to builds, when it comes to variety, for SC Evo, it doesn't feel like there is too much of that. That may change coming in towards the championship, but again, like 2-gate Dragoon into Dragoon range, into Reaver drop, into +1 charge, into Storm. It's very, very meta, very common, and you don't often see too much else from that. I did mention that there is a build that Classic does enjoy where he goes into faster Zealot legs, he goes into a faster Citadel, into +1, but we haven't seen that yet today. Haven't seen that yet. As I believe this song that's playing is from the Nova Covertops, I think that's what this song is. From the Nova missions. Which is also what I appreciate. Another thing specifically to SC Evo, which is really nice, it's like nice like quality of life sort of thing. I don't know if it's quality of life, but like just like, God, there's a word I'm looking for, but my brain is not there. But it kind of sets the there we go. It kind of sets the tone and sets the vibe for a lot of these games. Is specifically for SC Evo, all these maps they have added and expanded the soundtrack, so it includes songs like this, songs like the Nova Covert Ops, or songs from the Broodor OST as well. I feel like it's something that should just be baseline for SC2, but it isn't. It is something special that they've done for SC Evo. So there's like an expanded list of songs that can play during the games, which is really cool. Meanwhile, BC? Wait, what? We're going for an economic opener into a 1-1-1 into BC. Okay, let's go. TaeJa. BC against Protoss. Now, if you remember, like last year, I want to say GuMiho did have a build where he was, I think it was in GSL, where he did go proxy BC and TVP and he popped off. Here it's not proxied, but the rush distance by air is very short. You can see here, we are a screen apart. We're a screen apart, very short rush distance by air, but the slow zones do make up for that. True. I mean, that's why there's slow zones here, to compensate for just how quickly you can go into your opponent's bases. Meanwhile, no surprises here. Again, Dragoon base opener into Reaver drop. We have a shuttle speed on the way for Classic. Classic getting his third base, so he's going for his own drop play, but here we go. The first battle cruiser is on the way. So remember that one tournament where we didn't lose the match at all? His only loss was to the cork of champagne. I think that was a dream hack. That was back when dream hacks, it was like quote unquote mandatory, but whenever you won, the champion would come out with the champagne bottle to go to town, and yeah, TaeJa infamously, he's built a game. He's not really built for that sort of thing, to pop the cork and to pop the champagne. It led to some awkward gifts that were made and some awkward moments, but all in good fun. All in good fun. As here we go, BC across the map. BC towards the main, likewise we have the Reaver drop here into the natural. And TaeJa, we actually target down the building SCV, but the turret does survive. Does finish. Turret does finish up. Shuttle's deflected. BC is coming in. Here comes that battle cruiser. Battle cruiser does hit the main. Oof. Scraps are going for the Marines. But there are plenty of Dragoons back at home, and we respond with a Stargate and a fleet. We're rushing carrier? Okay. Jesus, BC does elbow back home, but again, Classic is rushing carriers. He's crazy. I mean, hey, he has a massive lead in the series, so why not? Bearing in mind, Tempest doesn't exist, so that, like, when you go for a fleet beacon like this into Stargates, it has to be carrier. The carrier is a very different unit, of course. The carrier here in Brood War does begin with a lower interceptor count. I say lower, it begins with 0 interceptors, but it has only a max capacity of 4 interceptors, at least until you get the upgrade. Then it goes up to 6, if I'm not mistaken, or is it 8? I think it's 8. I think it doubles. That's only after you get the upgrade. But carriers are on the way. As gas stalls go down. Picking up a couple of SCVs. 8 after upgrade. Yeah. I think it doubles from 4 to 8. I mean, I'm sure we'll find out. As PCs, they do head in. Loving the skin. They do throw in the bases. More Stargates on the way. It's going to be triple Stargate production. Again, currently no upgrades. Are currently only 4. So only capacity for 4 interceptors. I'm sure Classic will get there. The other scary thing about what's happening is that Classic is intentionally banking up the carriers as well. Meanwhile, mech. We're going into StarCraft 2 Terran mech. Okay, we're meching it up. Yo, do you think TaeJa was watching GuMiho earlier? True. GuMiho, he did play mech, but he went battle mech if you're full. He would switch back and forth. Battle mech, traditional mech, back into battle mech. In his series. Elliot heads in. Does threats into the third. Not bad. Does 9 mining time. No major kills, but does 9 mining time nonetheless. Scan into the natural. Massive scan. Does get eyes on the mass carrier production. And here we go. Instantly Thors. Thors are on the way. We're building up those Thors. Still making more BCs. Ideally, we need more starports. We need like a second, third starport for Thor, for Viking production as well. Or Thor into Lib. We'll see how he does actually approach this. How many carriers are we up to? 4. Still no upgrade, by the way. Classic. Like, what's going on? I feel like typically whenever players rush into Skytoss for Brood War Protoss, like we rush into that upgrade as quickly as possible. I think it is common consensus that carriers without the capacity upgrade are kind of dead weight. Where's the anti-air? Where's the anti-air? The tanks, they're gonna be shut down. Uh-oh. TaeJa, we should not be here as carriers. They will chase us down, and there's no medevacs. There's no way to escape. Every tank is gonna fall. Oh boy, this was a questionable move out here from TaeJa. As it's not like he has to free up supply. That's not the case. At the same time, he's going for a zealot. Sorry, for a Hellion counterattack. He runs into zealots. Yeah, but every tank goes down. Tanks, they have value. Like, this isn't purely a Skytoss army. Like, there's still zealots and dragoons on the ground. Tanks, they can be useful. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a rough moment here for TaeJa. Zealots, they jump into the main. Here comes the main army. TaeJa, he's working with half his army now. As I'm afraid to look, he lost how many kills? 8 tanks. 8 tanks went down. Here comes Classic. I mean, there's some Thors, true. I mean, there's a lot of Thors, actually. As we are going to be moving in. Why does they go up? They do take down one of the carriers, not bad. One carrier goes down. Ooh, as we're rallying past the turrets. And, does Classic know that there's a carrier upgrade that he has to get? Does he? is he aware? Aye. Someone message him on Kakao. Let him know. As TaeJa is moving out. As he moves out, we do get the drop once again into the main base. We have how many Thors? Nah, 8. 8 Thors. Soon to be 12. So sorry, soon to be 11. So the Thors on the way. Army moves in. One carrier is going to be targeted down. He gets one. He's going to get 2. All the carriers should be targeted. And Dragoons, they can't hold their own against this. Yeah, Thors, they will dominate. Classic has to get the hell out of here, but at the same time, Zealots. At the same time, Zealots, they're popping up. We have Zealots at the third, Zealots at the natural, Zealots in the main as well. 34 SCVs. Ay. Brutal damage. 34 workers going down. Dragoons, they pick up one of the Thors. But now here comes a counterattack. And imagine this, but with 8 tanks. That's all I'm saying. Like, imagine this move out with a tank line behind it as well. BCs are going for the gold. We're getting messy. Storm is finishing up. Ooh, we got an upgrade. Or they run into the main army. I'm not too sure what that is though. Oh yeah, we have Maelstrom on the way. Does Classic know that Maelstrom only works against biological units? He may not be fully aware of that. But now the storms are popping. Jesus, the storms are popping up. Yeah, the storms on the Thors. They do soften them up. Thors are softened up. Thor goes down to the storm. You see TaeJa getting us up on the high ground. Another storm does connect. Takes out the tank. Again, once he enters the Thor's storms, Jesus, again, the Thors, they cannot get away from the storms. They're too thick. Yeah, they're far too thick. Tanks are going down. Thors go down. And remember, TaeJa, he did lose the economy earlier. He has been rebuilding, though. He has actually rebuilt all of his workers. Very impressive. But because of that, his army is smaller. His army is smaller. Yep, there it is. Maelstrom is on the way. As we mentioned, Maelstrom only works against biological. If you remember, Dark found out that the hard way. When we casted Dark playing random and rolling on Protoss, he was playing against Beyond. He played a show match. Or he was playing a tournament. I can't quite recall which. I think it was tournament. And he went mass Maelstrom, and it did nothing to Beyond's mech army. and Dark, he was question marking the hell out of it. He was like, what? Like, Bappy, that doesn't work on mechs. Oh, okay. from here. Classic getting caught out. Yo, the Cyclones. The Cyclones. Bappy, they pop off. The Ducklings are brutal. Shuts down all the Dragoons. Now we're holding on. Let's see some mind control. Mind control has not been researched. Mind control has not been researched. Yo, we got the... let's go. This is late game Protoss. Show us the Arbiter. Arbiters, they of course have stasis fields, no stasis traps. And that is ideal against mech. But we're getting there. As it looks like Classic is done with Carrier. He's like, mate, those carriers are awful. I'm never making them again. It's like, Pappy, they will be missing the upgrade. but it does seem like he's done with carriers. As BCs, they do take down a mineral line. That's going to be 12 probes going down. Classic trying to respond. DTs, they attempt to harass. Attempt. Yo, we got Arbiter upgrades on the way. So Arbiters, they're kind of like the mothership, but better. Arbiters have stasis field, they have cloak, of course. Oh my god, the storms, they shut down the Cyclones. Jesus. Respect the storms, Pat. As TaeJa does take a storm to the face. Get these Cyclones, they're so brittle. Here they come. Ooh, as he does catch out to a Templar, only one storm. Yeah, better catch here from TaeJa. We have flanking storms coming in. Ooh, as one Templar goes down. Storm does graze the Cyclones. 2 Cyclones do fall. Yes, here comes the Arbiter. Here comes the Cloak. Does cloak the army. No scans. Uh-oh. Going for the Arbiter itself there. Nice off gun. But it does pull away. So the Arbiter does have a recall, it does have the cloak, and does have stasis fields, and of course can be masked. You can make additional Arbiters. Arbiters are not a hero unit like the Mothership. But the Arbiter is going to be going down. Arbiter gets sniped. Oh, but again, the Cyclones are getting caught out by the Zealots. As Classic does switch into a mass gateway army. And the Zealots do punish. Oh. Yeah, they do punish, moving in. At the same time, BCs, they hit the gold base. They die mining. Do die mining. Oh, good. Once again, storms do punish. Storms are popping up. CC goes down. Oh god. And Classic, he might just, when his reinforcements arrive, I should say, he might just be able to overwhelm. As here they come, reinforcements are on the way. And GG, yeah, GG gets called. He has broken the bank, broken the economy here of TaeJa, and Classic, he will take the series 5-0. He will claim the show match. GG. GG, well played. A very intense back and forth here between, I mean, I say intense back and forth. It was a one-sided scoreline, but I don't feel like the games themselves really did reflect, the score reflects the games themselves. I did mention specifically on Blue Storm, even on this map as well, we had it back and forth. There were definitely some moments though where TaeJa did overextend. I'm referring specifically to when he lost 8 tanks. When he lost those 8 tanks, did mean that he was that much weaker defensively, and his counterattack was that much weaker as well, so TaeJa was in a really, really rough position there. Likewise, Classic, as TaeJa was switching into battle mech, Classic was able to punish quite hard there. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to Classic, as he will claim the series a clean 5-0 for Classic, and a bit of a dirtier 5-1 to Zoun. And for those who weren't here, we casted Zoun versus GuMiho earlier in a best of 9. Zoun did claim that series 5-1. Here, Classic 5-0. But again, Classic, he is arguably the best Protoss player in StarCraft 2, and I would say in Brood War as well. In StarCraft Delusion as well, for sure. You don't get better than Classic when it comes to StarCraft Evolution Protoss, and it was definitely a tall ask here for TaeJa. He was able to hold his own at times, but again, he was overwhelmed. So congratulations to Classic. Very well done. Very well played. GG. GG, well played. And we'll see how our players look like coming into StarCraft Evolution Championship, as that is going to be taking place this week. This week, we'll be going over all of those replays, all of those matches. Bam, as we can head on over here to the bracket to catch up on our schedule. Our schedule's quite intense. As you can see here, we're going to be live tomorrow morning with the OC Elite, OC Rising Star Tournament. You can see StarCraft Evolution Championship Tuesday evening, Friday morning, Saturday evening, and Sunday evening. A lot of StarCraft Evolution. Meanwhile, we have the Big History Cup. That's going to be on Wednesday. We have the Podcast as well. We have the Patch Clash on Thursday, and we have plenty more tournaments. KSL, Little League Cup. There's tournaments all over the place. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft, as always here on the CranKy Ducklings. We are live every single day, as you can see, often multiple times a day. There's just so much going on, so much StarCraft. We do our best. We do our best. No. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. We do appreciate it. And again, we're going to be live in the morning with the OSC Elite Rising Star Tournament. That is where we feature up-and-coming players. That is going to be in around 11 hours. In around 11 hours time, we're going to be live once again. Otherwise, when it comes to this tournament, the Enki Epic Series and the Enki Pro Series, shout out to Enki Alexander. He is one of our own. He's one of the CranKy Ducklings. He's a Spanish caster, and he does organize these tournaments. He casted these show matches live in Spanish. We just now brought them to you in English for the first time. We did cover this. We just wrapped up with English. Typically, we try to be there live, but at the time, it was clashing with Euthermal's circuit, so we weren't able to cover it live. Maybe next time we'll be there to cover it actually live on the channel. Next time, baby, next time. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Again, it's always a breath of fresh air covering StarCraft Evolution. Always a lot of fun. And as you can see, there's going to be plenty more StarCraft Evolution on the way in the weeks to come as well. I do think that right now is the best time for StarCraft Evolution, just because we're in the off-season, right? All the top Koreans, they're all done competing in EWC, in the Esports World Cup, which means now they can justify practicing StarCraft Evolution, because now we're in the off-season. They're not focusing on another EWC right now. That's most likely, if there is going to be one for StarCraft 2 next year. So right now is a time where SC Evo can thrive, just like last time as well. Like during the off season, like that's when SC Evo can pop off, and when players can start focusing intentionally on improving at that game mode. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in 11 hours for some OC Rising Star, or we'll see you guys tomorrow evening for some StarCraft Evolution League Championship. That's going to be in 12 hours, or sorry, in 24 hours time. Otherwise, if you want some more StarCraft, if you're unsatiated, I believe Wardy is going to be going live soon with the Wardy TV Monday. That is going to be in 2 hours. Oof. In 2 hours time. We're not going to be live for that. So we are going to be going to bed, as that's going to be starting a little bit too late. So I'm going to be getting some rest. But if you want some more StarCraft, the Wardy TV Monday is in 2 hours time, and Roddy's hosting a tournament as well in 3 hours. So they're going to be overlapping. They're going to be clashing a little bit, which is unfortunate. But they will be all over each other. And that's going to be in a couple of hours. Otherwise, we are going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll see who's live. Who's live at the moment? Who can we send everyone over to? Let's have a look. Who's live in StarCraft? Harstem, he just went live. I see Thriving GG. Codebar, Nightmare streaming. Let's go. Nightmare's live. Could give some love to Nightmare. Yeah. We'll give him some love. Just double checking. Make sure I don't miss anyone. Okay, we'll give some love to Nightmare. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. And congratulations to Classic and to Zoun for claiming the show matches. GG. GG, well played. Oh, well played.